Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the GeekVerse podcast. Welcome to the 672nd episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I am the Invisible Man, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by...
I am the I Can Fix Her, Kirkland Patzer.
I'm the butter me up, Taylor Field.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I just like that our two nicknames are just like thirsting for some women, and then, Taylor's just thirsting for Paul Walter Hauser, but that's great. Paul Walter Hauser is a fantastic actor who we're going to talk about. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are the first movie of I guess this first anything of the Phase 6 of the MCU. Feels a little weird because I feel like the phase has kind of been a mess since Endgame, but it is the kickoff of the sixth phase, the final phase of the Infinity Saga that's leading us to a bunch of good stuff, I hope. And obviously Marvel's had a rocky road, I'd say, since Endgame. We've talked about it many times. We can check out many of our newscasts. So, earlier this year, we did Captain America, where I think we were all kind of mixed on. Thunderbolts, I think, was a big surprise for us, which we all kind of liked to varying degrees. And then we did do the journey. You can go on Patreon. We reviewed every single Fantastic Four, even the Roger Corman one that didn't release. We reviewed that. That's all on Patreon, the Phase 2 tier and up. Talk a little bit more about that later, but we've had a little bit of journey. And this is the last Marvel movie of the year. And listen to this. This is the last Marvel movie until Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is kind of crazy to say, but that is the situation here. So as usual, we're going to give you our non-spoiler thoughts, and then if you haven't seen the movie, we'll take a little pause, give you a break, let you know when we're jumping to spoilers. We'll break that wall, and then once after the break we do that, then all bets are off. So if you don't want to be spoiled, get out of here. If you don't care, then buckle up, baby. So Mr. Pats, I'm gonna let you start. What did you think, non-spoilers, of Fantastic Four First Steps? Always forget about the first steps part, but that is the full title.
I kind of forgot about that subtitle also.
Yeah.
Just the Fantastic Four. I thought this was a really fun time. I thought it was really solid across the board. I don't think there was really any moments that I was like scratching my head of like, man, this is such a terrible decision. Or on the other side of the spectrum, like, man, this is blowing me away, like fucking peak MCU here. So some may see that as a negative because it's kind of safe, and I don't think I would call this movie like safe, but there's certain things about it that make it feel safe, and I don't. It's hard to describe. It's definitely, to me, a good vibe movie. Like, I just absolutely love the aesthetic of the 60s of what this film has, and I think they just nailed it with like the Jetsons feel, where it's like that old retro-y but like still futuristic. Everything down to like the newscasters they interact, the city, like the citizens, their cars, the way that they talk, like everything about it, the fashion. I just totally was vibing with the aesthetic, and I love the aesthetic. When I first saw like that Fantastic Four logo, first time we see them in the suits, I was just eating that up. So I knew I was gonna like the aesthetic, but to see like the full movie, I just thought it looked really, really awesome. There is some really shoddy CGI in this movie, but there's also some really fantastic CGI at moments. Particularly our big bad Galactus, I thought looked phenomenal. It helps that he's kind of in the darkness for some scenes, but certain baby was making me think of the getting the Flash flashbacks. I didn't like that scene in the Flash.
This is the Phase 6 of
We'll talk about it, but I feel like they just have like a lot of it too, where it's like, oh man, was this the best idea? But like in my head, like, what's the alternative? Are you gonna
close-ups, Kirkland?
Train a child?
Close-ups.
Yeah, I guess so. The movements is a little bit fishy. But yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there. But just rounding out my overall thoughts, I think that the cast is really great. I think something that this movie does a really good job with, from my point of view. I don't know, we'll see how you guys feel, but I thought they gave like to me, I wasn't watching this and being like, man, Reed Richards is such a standout in this team, or like Sue is such a standout in this team, or Johnny. Like I feel like the team as a whole, I just really enjoyed. I feel like they all have like a good share of stuff to do. There's probably a little bit more with Reed and Sue just because of what's going on, but like I still feel like Johnny and Ben are also just really fun. I think those two together were probably my favorite like humor in the movie. The humor overall wasn't like, making me knee slapping by any means, but I think there's just like a certain, I don't even know if levity is the right word, but I'm just gonna grab it and throw it on there in my sentence because it just sounds right. I don't know. There's something nice about this movie, and like I think this is gonna be a fun one to rewatch just because I do love the aesthetic so much, and yeah, it just I don't know. It's a good story from start to finish. I really like some of the space sequences we were in. I was actually really vibing with. What else to say? Silver Surfer, that was like a big anticipation for me. Probably like top 2 or 3 like most anticipated thing for the movie was just seeing that character, and I am definitely happy with what we got. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it too much. We'll get there when we get there. But I was impressed with the character's role and kind of what they were doing. I was worried it was just going to be like, I am the Herald of Galactus comes in, and then like that's just kind of it for her. Obviously I knew that she would be surfing around and doing some integral things to the plot, but I think she was in it more than maybe I was not necessarily expecting, but like worried that we're gonna be getting a lot less of her. So I was pretty happy with it, and like it felt like just a good telling of like that surfers, because clearly we're in a different multiverse here. Minor spoilers, we're in Earth 848. I don't know if they said that before.
I don't know, but the very first frame of this movie
Yeah.
is Earth. Like it tells you Earth. So if anyone's gonna get
Yeah.
mad, fuck yourself.
Yeah, so it is just like a solid variant, I guess, equivalent.
You
to,
spoiled it. I want to know the specific number of the Earth. Like, god damn, get out of here, please. But yeah, different Earth, different place.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I would recommend this movie. It's nice to like believe in, and for me at least, just being like, yeah, that was a solid entry into not that Thunderbolts was like a big miss by any means. I did have a fun time with that movie. Honestly, I think the humor is even better in that movie than it was for me here in Fantastic Four. But I don't know. I'm trying not to sound so like it was all right, but like I don't know. It was missing something to really blow my mind, but I feel like maybe that's when you get into just more variables of like, well, let's just swing for the fence and see what happens. I feel like because they kept it somewhat safe with some things that were going on here, it just feels like a nice place to do it before we get into the big Avengers Doomsday stuff. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there because I'm worried I'm gonna leak out some things, so I'll pass the baton to someone else.
Taylor, your turn to leak.
My turn to
And
leak.
butter.
Yeah.
Butter, script of too much bread.
With all the marketing and everything, I felt like this movie was
Background.
there was so much going on with the marketing. I felt like it was just everywhere, and I felt exhausted.
You're having a problem with that. With Superman, with this. Taylor's old eyes now can't take more than 3 characters on screen.
I
It's
can't.
like,
I got to
what's
squint.
happening?
I got like tunnel
Who
vision.
are all these Justice Gang? Who's the Fantastic Four? I just
What
want
about
the
the Tron
Fantastic Two.
marketing, Taylor? I thought the Tron marketing has been stellar for Ares, except for
Oh
this
my
recent
God.
trailer.
I-
saw.
I'm
Okay,
there.
save for
A little bit
newscast.
I'm there.
Save for newscast.
Let's
This
do.
isn't a
Let's pull up the
Tron.
trailer. Let's talk.
This isn't a
Tron
show.
Ares.
We
We're gonna
already-
break down the
Leto.
trailer.
Jared
Check out a
We're
Leto.
gonna
couple
break
weeks
down
ago.
the Avatar trailer, right?
Me and
after
Taylor
this
did
first
that
episode?
episode
Oh my
already.
God, goosebumps for that Avatar trailer.
Shut the fuck up!
Oh my God. But yeah, circling back to this movie,
Yeah, the main one of the biggest movies of the year, no doubt.
yeah. So I did not have a lot of hype going in, but that being said, after seeing Thunderbolts and the post-credit scene that Thunderbolts had and everything, like I was feeling it. I was getting juiced up, and there was some anticipation for this, especially because this is
Say that again.
this is a in terms of the overall narrative and where we're supposed to be kind of segueing to. I mean, those Avengers films are not far off, so things need to be kind of accelerating. That anticipation was there for me, and that's one of the reasons that I was captivated, looking forward to this movie. And so I think at the end of this month, having our third big blockbuster within a month, which I don't know if we've done that before with GeekVerse. This is like
I think we definitely have.
3 big blockbusters in a month. I mean, that's
I think they're the 3 ones that like pertain to us, like the stuff we cover and really like. But I bet it's happened before. There's probably just one we skipped, right? Where it's like we're not going to review Beauty the Beast, like so, like what you did. I mean, like something like that. Where I bet there's a couple
That's
big
fair.
ones.
That's fair. So yeah, getting into the movie and just watching it, the world that they built, I was totally absorbed by it. I absolutely loved it. I think that it felt spot on for this futuristic and this retro kind of combination that they did. I can't remember the term for it, but you were telling you know what the term is, Travis, because we googled it.
Was
but you
it
had said
future
it.
retro future or whatever? it was?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, retro futuristic or whatnot. The same theme,
Future
like
retroistic.
futuristic that Fallout has. The Fallout games kind of
We're still in.
incorporate that a little bit. That aside, though, just I think the characters, they were fantastic. The actors, like I wasn't sure how I was gonna like Johnny based on the trailers, because he felt like in the trailer portrayal, it just felt like he was like constipated for most of the time. But in the movie, with the scenes being a little bit more fluid and how he's bouncing off the
Stop.
characters.
Back up. What do
Say
you?
that again.
Can you define? Because Taylor's done this before, where words mean different things to him. Can you define constipated? Just quickly, 10 seconds.
Well, give me a facial reaction if you're constipated. That works. Yeah. That's how that's it. Yeah, I mean without the sound effects, but that's just how.
Oh God!
That's just how I.
constipated.
That's how I feel. But again, most of those scenes are just quick cuts of him in the trailer, and you don't get the setup and like the build up to those moments. And so when you actually see him interacting with the other characters, it's a lot more fluid and it's a lot more laxative, I'd say, is the counter to that. So
Did you mean he's laxative and constipated at the same time?
no, the laxative. They
you tune
in
in
the
first.
the
Come on 10
movie,
years, folks.
the movie version of Johnny is Ace's. The trailer version that they were trying to display of him, there was just something a little bit more rigid to that character, and I think
they also did that with Pedro as well. In my
yes,
opinion.
they did.
Yeah.
And so, but again, everything in here, it jived well. I really, really liked it. It's just the score and the setups, everything was just, I was having a blast with this movie. And aside from a few quick, fast, sporadic things at the start, once we got into this adventure, I was from right to the end, I was like, man, I feel like I'm back in that early MCU days where we're getting like really awesome, fun Marvel content, and this felt like it was capturing that essence for me again. And I left the theater very, very happy, and I just thought this was not what I was expecting, and I'm so glad that I got to feel that again, because with all the different storylines and everything that we were hitting, I really was just lacking that and missing that kind of nostalgic MCU feeling, and I'm so happy that this kind of captures that for me. And this is one, like, to the whole back half of this film, I'm thinking, man, I can't wait to buy this and put it on my MCU shelf with my other Marvel films, because it's been so long since I bought a Marvel film. And yeah, I'm really, really hyped on this. I want to go see it again. I think it's great. And yeah, I don't know what else I can say.
Best
is
F4
that-
movie, Tito asked.
Dishwasher's
It's
done.
not me. That's not me. Yeah, someone's
No,
the
that's
bomb. What did Detail ask? What did he ask?
Best F4 movie. I think we
Oh,
can all.
Ooh, I don't know. Me and Tyler were talking Silver Surfer, Rise of the Silver Surfer. He
That's not
told
what
me he
said
saw
to me
that.
in the car. He said
No?
He said
it was
Taylor wouldn't
best
leave me alone. I kept trying to leave.
He
He
did
told
mention
me-
the Silver Surfer one.
He
for
told me he
nostalgia
saw that in
reasons.
theaters.
That was the
Yeah,
last
I'm-
Fantastic Four
I'm
movie.
jealous.
we would have
That's-
seen in theaters.
That's why we don't like to spoil it. We don't really have a fantastic. We're gonna do the Superman rankings for the patron. We're not doing a Fantastic Four rankings because, like, I think that's a very boring episode. Like, the movies are very easy to rank. Like, I guess we could do best scenes, best characters, but like, I think most of those movies were either a failing grade or right on the borderline, other than that first one. So, yeah, there's no spoiler there. I think Kirkland, would you agree with that? Would you say it's best F4 movie?
Yes, with
Okay.
a bullet point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but not that hard to do, right? The Roger Corman one's kind of messy, fanforistic. I think I still like the 05 one. Rise of Silver Surfer's messy, so like that's not a easy, or that's not a hard thing to do. So, are you done with your overall thoughts?
I guess I don't want to say that because it's not maybe it's a spoiler.
He's
I don't know.
constipated.
I don't know. Some people have seen certain things in the trailers, and the trailers have shown like a couple things. So I'll save it for my opening statement when we are into the spoiler territory.
Yes.
Bold of you to assume you get the opening statement, but Travis?
I'm taking it.
No, I'm taking it. It's mine. I kick you all out. Yeah. So this is a movie that I've been interested in quite a while because I love these big. These GV big event films. We're not an event film per se, but I feel like this is something we've been talking about at least for a since the podcast started, but obviously for sure 2018 when Disney bought Fox, right? Because they bought them and they got F4 and they got X-Men, and weeks after we did our fan cast, we should go back in a newscast and look at who we cast for the Fantastic Four back in 2018, because I wonder what we were all thinking back then. But so F4 is not my team. They're not the characters I really glom onto. It's not like I dislike them. I like them in crossover events. I've read a lot of them in other stories, but a lot of their own separate journeys I've read a little of just because they've just never done it for me per se. I'm not sure why, in a sense. I think when I was younger, they fell in that like Superman category. Like, yeah, they're a bit too goody two. They just have like those hard edges. And I'm sure someone would be like, oh, in 1967, there would be blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, like, sure. But like in my eyes, Superman, Shazam, it's like, I want something a bit more gritty, right? And as I grew up, same thing, like enjoyed those movies. We can go back, check out the retros, like some of those movies when they came out when I was a kid, but some of them I didn't see in theaters. Like I just never cared about them too much, right? But luckily, as we went on, we got this cast, which is the thing I've always cared the most about. Vanessa Kirby, gonna do a trash totally pat you in the back, just like Oscar Isaac. That was my pick, and I was very happy she got cast. So I had that bias going in. But Pedro, I was on the Pedro supporting team. But at the same time, you got the cast. It's still like, well, it's Fantastic Four, and you had Shakeman who did WandaVision, who fantastic show, had some iffiness near the end. So it's like, okay, what's he gonna do for a movie? And if you were to ask me, probably January, I was on the podcast when you guys did the movie preview or whatnot, or I guess I was, but either way, when we got closer to it, I would have said easily between Superman, Captain America, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four. Thunderbolts would be ranked last as far as my excitement. So much to my surprise, it's ranked first for the comic movies I like the most this year. This movie is fucking amazing. I loved almost. My cons are one CGI baby, and I wanted it a little more.
Oh my god, the Twilight baby came out to play.
Yeah,
Fuck.
we'll get there. They lost all the budget on Galactus, and there's some bad baby shots. I don't care if it's spoiler. Prepare yourself. There is a baby that is horrific looking in here. Especially there's key scenes where it's like emotional stuff's going on, and then it's like, here's CGI baby again, close-ups. Matt Shakeman, DP, whoever, close-ups. You fucking get close on your good-looking actors. But no, I love this movie. I agree with Taylor where it feels old school Marvel. Well, where to me it feels the biggest comparison is like Iron Man, Captain America: First Avenger, and Black Panther, where they're in the MCU, but really, other than a few ties, you don't even need it. And I think that's what they need to go back to. Obviously, Feist talked about that, but I think you can have every once in a while you cross over your Civil Wars, but you got to go back to, hey, you could really just watch Iron Man on its own, and the end credit happens. That's great, but if you turn the movie off, it doesn't affect the movie, right? It's not a setup movie, and same thing with this, and that's where, man, obviously it's a little bit different because everyone knows this. They're going to be in Avengers, and there is some setup stuff with this. I'd say in the end credits, minor spoilers, but everyone knows this. They've spoiled this themselves, right? But for me, again, up until then, you could just watch the movie as is. And I've always said before, I would love it for Marvel to say, hey, we're going to make an Iron Man movie set in 1990, and it's not connected to anything. Yeah, we're going to get Tom Cruise play Iron Man. He's not going to, kind of like what Joker was, right? Like, we're just going to go off by itself. This is not exactly that because it is connected in, but it feels like that. And many times we're just feeling like, hey, we're gonna make this movie in 838. That's what it was, Kirkland. You said, was it 838?
848.
848. Thank you. And this is just gonna be a Fantastic Four movie by itself. Like, this is, I want more of this. Even if, like, who knows what happens with the multiverse saga. I would love if they introduce more characters like this, where it is like not even a different country, like literally a whole different universe. Like, if this is how we get the X-Men, I'm completely fine with that. If it's not, when we go, oh, how do they do the X-Men? They haven't been around. Like, where's Wolverine? It's like, no, if they just say, yeah, it's Earth, 618, perfect. Like, they nailed the universe. I love the differences. I love that we didn't have a bunch of heroes. Like, before we always theorized, like, oh, could there be a cameo, this and that? No, it was great. I love, and I think Kirkland, you brought up a good point with I think if people love MCU for its humor, and the knee slappers. This movie is not that, but that's why I enjoy it, because it doesn't feel like there's a joke a mile a minute. It doesn't feel like there's something super dramatic that happens and then cuts the tension. Johnny will crack a joke, sure, but at the most times, like there's a scene in the middle, scene near the end where it's like there's some big stuff happening here, and no one's throwing a quip out just to be like, hey, remember where we are? Like it feels way more like I said, Black Panther and Iron Man in that sort of sense, where it just feels grounded in its own reality, which I really love. Yeah, Galactus and Silver Surfer, they did a fantastic job. Could have used more on Silver Surfer. We'll talk about that in the. I think almost that's my only con is I could have used more of everything. Like I said, Kirby, I not surprised at all. There's a reason. Like I'm not a F4 connoisseur, but what I read of Sue Storm and what I've seen of her and what I've seen of Kirby, I always thought she's gonna kill it. Man, she is like already like a top tenner for me. Like I loved Sue Storm so much. So for me, she was a standout, and not just because I've brought in like I love Kirby and a lot of other stuff. Just she nailed it, and I love multiple scenes. There's a big speech she gets. She is the core of the family, like she is in the comic books, and. Not that you guys I think doubt this, but I'll take a victory lap because I feel like I was just like in 2015 when Ben Affleck got cast as Batman and people were like, oh man, well, I don't know about the same thing as Pedro. For some reason, one of the greatest actors currently working right now gets cast as Reed Richards and people are like, I don't know if he can do it. He hasn't shaved his mustache. I don't know if he can do it. You all are fucking I'm going to say nicely, misunderstood with your thoughts because he killed. That's where the way Taylor was happy about Johnny, I was happy about Reed. We'll get into spoilers. There's so much dimensions they did not show in the trailer. They just showed, oh, he's likable Pedro and he's like charming and good looking. No, you get the Reed that I was wanting, the Reed that can be very smart, very charming, very clever, but devious and kind of an asshole and kind of somebody that, like, to me, you should like Reed the least out of the F4. And in this movie, multiple times you do. And I think they nailed that. And that's a great thing. Pedro, we've seen that in Last of Us, which again, I haven't seen Pedro in a while because I didn't see Gladiator 2. And there's other stuff, but it's like I kind of forget Last of Us makes him look so old because he's on screen like, oh, he's looking young here. I'm like, oh, right, no, Joel, they just fucking make him look old as ass lately, but he's not aged that poorly, which is good. Yeah, I think Joseph Quinn, I think he is very good. My only thing is, man, does he feel like he's doing a Ryan Gosling, like performance in a way. Like if you were to tell me this was young Ryan Gosling, like from The Nice Guys or even Fall Guy, like he has that energy big time. Even the way he speaks and he does his American accent, he sounds like Ryan Gosling. Not a bad thing because Gosling would make a great F4, but that's all I could see. And I like Evan Moss Baccarin as the Thing, as Ben Grimm, but I think that's my weak point again, that we did not get enough of that character. I think he kind of got shortchanged. I'm not sure if they looked at other movies where Ben Grimm plays a small or a big role, like maybe not this time. So no, and you mentioned I'm cracking on the baby, but the visuals, some of the best visuals in the MCU, period. Not in this saga, not in this decade, period. Like you could literally, because I heard that before. I'm not going to go as far as some people being like, it looked like Interstellar. That's a step too far for me, but I could see as like the MCU's Interstellar, sure. Like this is literally multiple space sequences. I could not believe the environments and stuff that this was the MCU, which lately has, since Ant-Man and on, always the MCU's had some issues with CGI, right? But usually it's a sequence, a scene. Sometimes like Black Panther suffers more from others, but I felt from Ant-Man on, it was way more noticeable all the time. Where this, flawless, great stuff. Like I was so surprised how good it looked. I thought people were being like hyperbolic when they talked about the visuals, and no, they deliver big time. Galactus, Silver Surfer, the locations, even the set. There's a couple times where the things on the street, and you're like, oh, the street's not here at all. But their house, the vibe, everything. So no, I absolutely love this movie. Very surprised. I looked at my MC rankings. I don't think it's in the top 10, but it might be. I need to think about the 10th spot, which right now I have. But yeah, I can't put that over Guardians 1. That's what I currently have the 10th spot. I can't put it there, but I'm pretty sure this is 11. So it's like right underneath that top 10. And yeah, I was surprised how much I loved it. I'm excited to talk about it. And much like Thunderbolts, I don't know how much we're going to see them past Doomsday, but man, I hope this makes money because let Shackman do his thing. Let the team do their thing. I could take 3 of these. If they can nail this and nail the X-Men, and we got Tom Holland Spider-Man, then they eventually recast Tony and Cap. Like I'm good if like the next 5 years is Holland, X-Men, and F4 leading the charge because I was invested in all these characters, especially Pedro and especially Kirby. So for me, I thought they did a fantastic job, and yeah, very surprised. So yes,
You highlighted something. You said something that made me think.
good. I like to do that. That's what I try to do.
Well, it's interesting because I think that their fault was tackling a bunch of stories all within the same like multiversal timeline. I think one of their strongest suits was like you highlighted Deadpool, Wolverine, and then obviously in this with Fantastic Four, they should have just been focusing on characters and teams and whatnot, all from different multiverses. We're in the multiverse saga, so why not just be tackling and giving us these different origin stories in different?
No Echo, no Ironheart. You don't want any of those.
You could
caught
no.
You can just say no. You can say no. I don't want
no,
them. Yeah.
no, don't need them. Don't need them. Like street level,
I'll
I'm
pick a
sure
man
there's-
one. No Hawkeye.
There is a level of fandom for street level things for sure, but I think Hawkeye it tackled that street level kind of threat, and I mean you could
Yeah.
to
I
have
don't
things
fully
going,
agree with you. I think there just should have been more, but I don't think you should have done everything
There should have
different
been more.
universe. I think you should still keep stuff based in the 616 and everything, but I think there should have been more for the multiverse saga and the like we've talked about before. The multiverse movies are the ones that have the biggest box office too. So, and I guess well, and Loki had the multiverse stuff, right? I guess that was really the only TV show. I guess if you want to count What If and stuff. So, yeah. So. Anything else not in the chat here? Detail asks how they were stretching powers. I thought some of the best they look actually, because I've always said stretching powers are lame, and it's very hard to make that look cool. And I think they were smart to do it very lightly. That's another thing I enjoyed. There's, I won't say I think it's minor spoilers. I think there's like only 3 action scenes in here, and like the first action scene's like a montage. Like this movie, which I'm glad I didn't take the kids to because I think Gwen will like it. I think Logan could have been bored. Very talky, which I enjoy. But the action scenes, they're big when they happen, but very few and far in between. Like when I saw Reed stretch, I'm like, right, we haven't seen him stretch in like an hour. And the first time we saw it,
act is when he's really popping
yeah. So I think they looked good, but I think they used them right way accordingly. Is he turning into like a fucking like a teapot? No, he's not. They keep it very regular fighting
break
stretching
dancing in the club.
Yeah, I don't need any of that. I'm fine with it, but I thought he looked good.
Yeah, I thought it looked good. There's a particular scene. He's not in the most comfortable position that I was like, damn, that looks pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
I think it looked great. I think all their powers looked really just
Especially
great.
Sue, honestly. I feel like the light like barrier, whatever the fuck her power even is, with like just force fields, it can look iffy because it's just like there's an effect. It's like, okay, her power is being used, but in this particular, it was like actually looking like a light, like a magical light that she was using. I just thought it looked really good. It just looked top notch.
Apparently they they use some sort of camera practical effect to like get like I don't think like a lens flare. I can't remember what the term was, but something like that. I'm sure of course they did stuff digital afterwards, but to do
All
some of
filmed
that
with
they use like
iPhones.
yeah, imagine this movie with the Danny Boyle like that would have been nuts. But yeah, and those powers are they all have hard. I guess not, but Reed and Sue have hard powers. Like it's hard to do the whole telekinesis and like vibes and like airwaves and invisibility. Like those can look lame or just not work. But yeah, I think that all looked good and everything. So oh, never mind. Spoilers. So I won't say that.
Don't swear.
Yeah, try not to. Anything else before we get into spoilers?
Let's get into it. Let's dive
All right.
in.
So after this, we will be right back with spoilers. So if you've not seen it, get out of here. We'll be right back. And we are back. So before we get into spoilers, just a cheap plug to let you know, August 9th is our GV Day, our 10-year anniversary. 7 events, 1, as if you saw a video today, some stuff went out. We're not going to talk about it. Lots of drama here at GeekVerse, but a new event will be announced next week. I think you can guess what's cooking up there. It's going to be a very fun day starting at 10 a.m. PST. Maybe because that new event's starting, it might start a little earlier. We'll see, but 10 a.m. PST roughly. We're going to go for 10 hours. The only way to make that stream go longer, which we will have some stretch goals we'll announce the week before, is to either join Patreon up your subscription or send in a super chat, and we'll go longer, and you can hit some of those stretch goals. Some of them are things we'll do on air. Some of them are content we record. There's going to be a whole bevy of stuff, but it's going to be 10 hours of just pure madness and joy. It's going to be us. It's going to be guests from the past. It's going to be trivia battles. It's going to be friend faces that you've seen before. It's going to be montages. It's going to be a very good day, so look out for that. And yeah, head over to Patreon. You can join. I'll put on another post next week, but you can join our trivia battle for that day if you're a Phase 2 Patreon up. Shout out to our Patreon producers: Aaron Braden, April Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superman Mike, God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Randall, Cocktail Clay, and John with no H. Thank you very much for the support. If you join the producer tier, you get every single thing we do, and all the tiers have many different things. All the episodes are ad-free on some of the tiers. You get the whole entire backlog. There's many exclusive episodes, like the Fantastic Four retrospective we did, where we reviewed all the movies. You can call them the After 9. There's lots of good stuff. That's the best way to support us. And if you can't, that's completely fine. We understand. Just subscribe on one of the platforms, podcasts, audio, or you can join the Discord to talk to us and the listeners, and it's a good time. So, but yeah, August 9th, that's a big thing. 10-hour stream. Come join us. Big celebration. It's going to be a very fun day. So I'm going to let Kirkland start. No, I'm joking. Taya, you said you wanted to have a starting point right away. So where's the right away starting point?
I mean, you highlighted it with just the baby thing, and I thought that I thought we were gonna be skipping over a little bit more time throughout this, and that just the moment that baby was born is like, that's not a newborn baby. Holy shit!
Oh my god! Yeah,
I thought they were gonna
cosmic.
make that like a story reason. Like I thought because Galactus induced her labor, essentially, it's like, oh, he's just gonna be growing, and then I thought like like we might just be getting a fucking not an adult Franklin, but like I don't know, 8 or 7-year-old by the end of the movie. Like
The alien
I just,
Romulus baby.
because when he comes out, I'm like, damn, like that baby's fuck what? Like, you know, I haven't had a child, but like, what is that? A couple weeks, a couple months, maybe, like in
couple
age.
months for
Yeah.
sure. Just the length on
Full
that
head
kid.
of hair, fucking
Eyes
got a
open,
beard on it.
bright
That-
blue eyes.
My twins right now are 8 months, or about to be 8 months, and they look smaller than that.
Yeah,
So
but they're
that's just
twins, you know, they're like half a person each.
okay. So if I put them on top of each other, that kid is still bigger than them. Like it was strange. It was definitely an older kid. At first, I thought, okay, you're gonna do that because you're handing them off a lot, but man. Yeah, if people you're listening to spoilers, you didn't see the movie, so and it was fine, right? Because they do great intense scene. We're gonna go all over the place, but when they first visit Galactus, we'll get there. But Galactus senses his baby and kind of induces the labor, as Kirkland says, and great set piece where they're trying to escape Galactus and Sue is given birth. And I knew nothing bad was gonna happen, but I thought the pacing of the scene, just the cinematography, everything, I was like, oh my god, like heart was bumping, right, pumping, all that good stuff, what your heart wants to be doing. So she's about to give birth, she gives birth, and then of course, you know, the thing catches the baby and then hands it off. I'm fine with the CGI there because it's like the baby's like floating over her, she just gave birth. Kind of understand you don't want like, hey, can you float your baby? Like, that's fine. But then even when they do the handoff, it's still like CGI for a little bit, but then they switch to a over the shoulder shot, and that's where it's like a practical real life baby. So you're like, okay, hopefully from now on it's gonna happen. But then it's in tough situations, because I love this little connection they have where Ben Grimm is like a very, seems like, close-knit uncle with the baby. He's always holding the baby, but then the problem is you have this like it's a real life baby for a lot of that, but next to the thing, so then they have to CGI that baby sometimes. So you got that, and then again, spoilers, if you're planning to see this movie, jump away. When we look like we're losing Sue, which for like a split second I thought, oh man, they're actually killing her off. I'm running through all the scenarios. I'm like, are they gonna find another multiverse Sue? Is that what they're gonna do with Doom? Is like Doom gonna make some sort of deal where, hey, like if you help me out F4, I'll bring back your wife? Like I'm thinking about all this stuff, like what could happen. Then I see the baby, I'm like, oh no, this is perfect, because it's supposed to be this huge, you know, power set baby, godlike power. Sometimes in the comics, a mutant. So it's like, okay, brings her back to life. But as they are just putting the baby on Sue just to be like, you know, say goodbye to your dead mother here, little month-year-old. Put her on there. But when they hand the baby off, they take out the widest shot you've maybe ever seen the team in this movie. And man, it is a CGI, like it's like moving around, and it looks like it needed like 6 more renders. It was, I'm not gonna say log truck rough. This to me is the new standard. This is like, I'd have to look at this and Pip the Troll, but that handoff of Ben Grimm handing the baby to Reed in the final moments killed all my emotion, took me right out of it. And that's where it's like, just fucking zoom in and have a head. Have a head, and that's all you can see, or some hair, or even if you have to CGI it, at least you're just CGIing like a 20% of this baby, the whole body. That was not it, because when they put on suits, it's like back to being like a real life baby for the most part. But yeah, it was a daunting, scary thing. Like, I thought the Squid Game baby Taylor was looking bad in Squid Game season 3. This was right on par with that. So yeah, someone should have been on set and saw that, been like, you know how we love to reshoot movies, we're fucking reshooting all these baby scenes. Like, they look bad for a movie that most time looks visually stunning, you know?
I wouldn't go that far personally.
About the visually stunning or the baby?
The baby, both, honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't need.
That was a
opinion.
bad baby.
Yeah, that was a bad baby. You don't think anything in this movie is visually?
Okay, my turn to talk now.
Don't laugh, Taylor.
Now it's my show now.
You don't think, like, when they're
Too
going
much
through the
power.
you don't think they're going through the black hole and Silver Surfer's just fucking like rolling
The
around,
space sequences was some of the best looking visuals in.
So you don't
in
think that's
recent
visually
times in the
stunning?
MCU. I think that was visually stunning. I thought that
okay,
was
you said nothing
phenomenal.
was visually stunning in this movie. What are you talking about?
I don't think that's
What
what,
the
I said.
fu-
I think
you
I would
did.
push back a little bit when you said
No, I
this
said
movie at times looks just perfection. I guess okay, yeah. But then, like,
tell me when I'm telling
you're
lies.
just going. I think just the baby stuff.
back
Like,
up there.
I do agree. It's looking rough, but like, man, rewatch that log truck scene. Like, that's unacceptable. That is like Microsoft. Oh, you're pulling it up right now. This guy.
I'm
Don't
not even
tempt me,
bring her up,
Frodo. I'm
but-
tempting him. Like, for the baby, like, I don't know. Like, anytime Ben is like holding the child, it just looks rough. I don't know. Like,
Yes.
Ben is a CGI creature, but like, he looks really good. So, like, solid, no pun intended. I think he looks fantastic throughout the whole flick. But when he's holding that baby, it's just like moving around and like just looking glitchy at times. And
Yes. It's a CGI creature holding a real life thing, which is like always a tricky scenario, right? So
and somehow he's making the real life thing look just so robotic and like so just like I don't know, just like an AI render. Like, it looks interesting at times, but in that scene, like, I don't know, it's also just bright and like there's just a lot going on. Like, sure, in that moment I'm like, is this
It was a
really
bright
like our
street.
final copy? Like, this is what we're doing here? Okay, whatever, I'll allow it. But at no time, pretty much at any time in this movie, was I like, man, this is the worst looking the MCU has looked for like visual CGI.
okay, here you go. Pull it up. you
Pull that
already
up.
see it there.
Pull that up. Pull that
Visual,
up.
we got, this is the Moon Knight log truck scene. So here we go. And here it comes.
Is
Yeah.
it crash?
Oh yeah, it does. And then like you get to see
Okay.
more of it. Because to see what happens here later, the log
It like
fall.
crushes. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Even his car looks really bad here. Man, Disney Plus era of MCU had some real figures.
Jesus.
Come on.
See. My issue is I think they're pretty on par.
Who was
I think
that guy in the bottom right?
oh my god, look at that! Go watch that video. I think my issue is that scene is not as vital as we are about to
That's
lose.
fair.
Sue
It is a much
Storm.
longer scene too, so
Yes.
I guess I'll give you that.
I think it just takes me out because I'm starting to like not get emotional because like I know Kirby's coming back. I know they're not like killing her off in her first appearance like completely, even as multiverse stuff. But it was a daunting thing to see, and I just close ups. Luckily, that kid, when we get to the end credits, they've aged him up 4 years, so hopefully that doesn't have to happen until they have their daughter. And I hope they learn once they have their daughter in F4 too to work on the close ups, which is again weird that they call this movie First Steps, because we all thought, oh, they're calling it First Steps because that baby's gonna walk. The baby doesn't fucking walk. The baby doesn't move at all. Even in the end credit, he's sitting on a chair.
Yeah, but he can walk.
What? Do we know that?
Fuck, I would hope so. He's like talking 4 years
You
old.
don't know. Maybe that's why he grew fast, but he still can't walk and stuff like that. But TC24 says that baby's body was supersized in that scene. It was, because they had a weird like blanket on him and stuff. So, yeah. I don't know. Anything else about you guys go back? What did you guys think about the birthing scene as far as the they don't got enough fuel, they're trying to shoot around a star. You got the Silver Surfer just on their ass. They take on the Surfer like it's like a boss battle, like 3 separate times. Like they lose her. Great moment where the fuck Surfer is gonna just tear the baby from Sue's.
That was fucking wild.
Yeah, I was like, oh man. But that's where they hit like light speed, losing. Okay, that was close. And then the whole fucking like wormhole's going on. So then they're shooting. Johnny shoots her with like spinning the bullet, hits her. Says, okay, we got rid of her now. But then she comes back and they got to use a fucking black hole to like get rid of her. So I loved the scene. Like, it felt like if we got the movie tie-in video game, that might be the funnest boss battle of the game to play. So I loved all that stuff.
God, take us back to the era when we just get the movie tie-in video games.
I wish.
Especially with just how fantastical they are these days. But no, I don't know for sure, but that might be my favorite scene of the movie. Like I might have to stew on it a little bit longer. But yeah, visually, I mean, it looked fantastic. You know, reminded me arguably my favorite Nolan film, Interstellar, with just like the big giant black hole in the background. It's just a good moment because I feel like every character kind of has something to do in that sequence.
Yeah.
Reed's
and
not
a
really
skill, like not
Yeah.
just like what am I doing here? Like even Johnny, I was so happy how, like, I don't think Chris Evans' Johnny really does anything in those fucking movies, right? Other than like bang chicks and he has great jokes. But this guy like multiple
fuck over
times
the
is
team.
like, so yeah. But this guy's like 3 occasions solves and helps the team. You know?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I mean, Ben helps birth the child, even though he's like the critical pilot of this whole mission. Herbie comes in to step in. I guess Reed's doing some stretching powers in that moment, but he's kind of just being I mean, it is important to hold her down in that moment, but being the supporting husband, like there's just so much going on. And then, as you mentioned, like Silver Surfer is right on their ass. Like it's just a critical moment. So I think because everything, there's just so much going on in that sequence, that might be my favorite. But fuck, man. I mean, yeah. I don't want to veer us away, but probably my favorite scene is honestly just like extension of what the trailer was with the Silver Surfer's entrance. That one, I had to put my popcorn down, and I was goosebumping. It was it was getting me ready to go. So.
Like the first, like the Herald.
Yeah, when they're just chilling, he's like, "Look, I got like the automated cops just doing this. The gang's getting taken out, and then it just goes to, like fucking Mordor's invading. It's just like red sky, and it's like, what the hell's coming? And then you just have the Silver Surfer coming down. Oh my god, man, that one got me hyped. But rounding out that space sequence though, I thought that was really really good shot, and I don't know. I like in my mind, I'm like the logistics of like birthing a child in space and just like how much that must just fuck up the body of the child. Like there's so many moments in this movie. I'm like, that child has permanent hearing damage. Just true. No, 100%. That would be the explanation why it doesn't happen that way. But just how sensitive a child, like, isn't a baby like? Aren't their heads like not even hard when they're first like born? It's like they have like soft
This
spots
baby's
sometimes.
was, though.
Yeah. Hard head. Franklin Richards.
Yeah.
That's what they call him in the comics.
That's his superhero name. He just looks like the
I'm
Juggernaut. He's
Hardhead
got
of
one of
the
those
Fantastic
helmets.
Five. Yeah, well, he doesn't have to because that's his head. It's that hard. He can just run with his head, battering ram. So,
I'm the hardhead, bitch.
GC's 24 says Surfing's power scaling was all over the place in my opinion. She should have been able to handle F4 alone with some feats she had in the first half of the movie. I don't know. I guess she just, for me, was never put in a place where she had to like fight the F4 alone. Like that chase scene where it leaves the black hole. That's to me them outrunning her. You know, I think I was fine with all that. None of that really bugged me. The few times they hit her. Also, when you kind of learn as usual, like her heart's kind of half in it. I think that always helps, right? Because it's almost like a Superman like. I'm holding back a little bit point of view. So, no, I thought she was used perfectly fine. Again, I could have used more of her. I almost worried when they got Galactus through like the transportation. I was like, man, is Silver Surfer like not going to get like a moment of redemption here? When he first went through the portal, I was like, she's just going to, okay, thanks for telling me I was a bad person, and fly away. But luckily she came in and made her move there. But yeah, Julia Gardner was great, but I wish we could have used her a bit more. I don't know what you do per se. Like maybe she could have been around the final battle a little bit more. Maybe more scenes of like the human stuff. Again, I love that visual when she gets like sucked up, when it's like this like blue white sort of Earth or planet like beach she's on, and then just this red beam. And I could have used a bit more of that, because like I said, she's a very talented actress. So I think it got a little bit above my expectations because, like you said, I think some of those trailers worried me that she was going to be very little, like just a, almost a cosmic goon. I think she did have
Yeah.
more than that, but I still was wanting a little bit more. But as I've said, I kind of want that for her. I want that for Ben. I even want that for Johnny a little bit. Even Reed and Sue. I could took a couple more Reed and Sue scenes. Again, this movie's like 2 hours. That's a classic MCU thing. And even with Superman that happened a couple weeks ago, same thing. Some of our biggest problems were like, this movie would be so much better if you could add 15, 20 minutes of this, and this. And I feel like same thing with this movie. I know they're obsessed with let's make it shorter and get in all these screens, but I think a lot of these characters, same thing, like Ben and Reed have like one scene alone, and that's really it. And they're supposed to be like best friends, and they're always around. Don't get me wrong, but I would be down for more stuff. Like in that moment when I love it. It's very comic coded when they go, "Hey, only way to get Galactus here, we're gonna have to use the baby as bait." And Kirby's already realized that, so she's freaking out. But when Ben realized that, he seems like ashamed that his friend would even think that way. But we don't really get them talking at all. It's just him and Johnny in the next scene, like joking around, like, "Should I go talk to him? Should you go talk to him?" And like, I would love a scene of Ben being like, "What the fuck are you thinking here?" Like in a way where, because that happens many times where Ben and Sue kind of gang up on Richards. Even in the Ultimate Universe, she ends up leaving like Reed for Ben, and Reed becomes like a villain of that universe. Like there's times where they become romantically involved. So I thought they didn't do that, but I thought they showed that they did have more of a connection. And I just wish there was more in general, kind of everybody. So I know I went veered off, but just the Surfer reminded me of just other instances in the movies that I could have used a little bit more. Even same thing, more Surfer and Galactus stuff would have been great, So
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's tough. Like this is a 2-hour movie, but like the pacing feels really fast. Like I thought we were moving rocket speed throughout this film, and not in like a bad way. It was just it just felt like we weren't messing around of like extending certain scenes. Like we breaking the fourth wall. We talked about the game movie, and like there's a moment when maybe he wakes up in south of the border, and it just like it feels like the movie pacing wise just like hits the brakes, and then it's like really. But like I don't think this movie has any moments like that at all. It just feels like we're going at a constant .88 light speed, like Mr. Reed Richards tells us to fly at. And like you're talking about some certain scenes, like I definitely would have enjoyed more, but I don't think like I can take points away for maybe not having like another Silver Surfer and Galactus scene, or like you laid out with any of the members. Like I obviously would have just taken more because I enjoyed what we like. I enjoyed the on-screen chemistry and just what was shown, but I don't know. I thought it worked for the most part for me. And even the Silver Surfer, like specifically stuff like with her and her home planet, or just the dynamic between her and Galactus. I think that might be the one I would have, like, if I could only choose one scene to get like one extra, couple of minutes on, or just another throw to them scene, probably would have been between Silver Surfer and Galactus. Just to see, I don't know, a little bit more of that dynamic. And because like it's just okay, he's controlling her because she sacrificed herself to save her planet, and it's just like ultimate loyalty. But like I guess not, because at the end she kind of goes against him, and like there's not really an explanation on like how she's able to do that. Like why wouldn't she have just done that earlier on? But I guess because they had Galactus on the ropes, this is her one chance to like put in the final blow. Like she wouldn't have had the power to do that on her own. I guess that would be the reasoning. But
and I just was unclear. They kind of made it seem, I had no point thought in this movie. I thought it was okay. Yeah, they made the sacrifice. She was that, but they almost made it like she had amnesia to a point, because they play all these voices, and Johnny's like, "These are all the planets you've destroyed."
I imagine because it's just been so long. Like she probably was taken like millions of years.
Well, it's like the equivalent. Let's say like look at Andor when they put Bix up to that hardware where she has to listen to everyone dying, like all the people being like, that's a race being annihilated. I think when you are in the situation, you're finally put up to bat. You have to hear like hundreds, maybe thousands of worlds all screaming like, "Please save us!" and you're
I guess
responsible for all of them.
the
That's
only
gonna hit.
the only difference though is like Bix is not responsible for all that, right? Like Bix is like a good
Yeah, so
person.
it'd be even
where-
worse than for her, right?
Yeah, I guess I just thought it was an easy turn. I liked the idea of Johnny. That was his little MacGuffin of he heard her talk, he figured out a sentence, got an algorithm, did all this stuff. I just thought it was going to lead to more, and I was fine with him that being the way he finds out the origin of her. I thought, okay, that's very clever. But for that to kind of be her turning point, I don't know. I think I needed more from the character to realize why she turned on Galactus because when it's still like, yeah, it sucks that all these people are dying, but I'm still doing this for the same reason I started. Because if I don't do this, he's gonna kill. We're presuming that might have been her daughter or even a little sister and all these other people I love. So it's like, yeah, these voices do really suck, but like the motivation hasn't changed. Like I thought maybe he could find a way out for her or something, but no. So I guess it just that didn't fully pay off for me like I was hoping for it to. Not a bad scene. I thought it was fun enough, and again gave Johnny something to do, and I thought they had some fun chemistry, and I hope we bump into her again. I hope it's not just like I know people are like, "Where's my Norn Rad?" But it's like I had no issues with Shaw Ball being like the main Silver Surfer here, and I'd be fine if she was again in the future. Like I would have liked more, but so that will be a little shit if we do actually never see her again. If we can see her again, then maybe you can kind of build upon this. But if we never see her again, it feels kind of a little lackluster overall. Other than I think the presentation was very good, and I think the just the vibe of that character worked very well.
Yeah. I was gonna bring up TC24's comment here. He said she should have no problem snatching Franklin. Like at the end sequence, that definitely was in my mind when it's like from Galactus' perspective. Like, why is he even coming to Earth? Why not be like, hey, Silver Surfer, go fucking take Franklin from them?
Well, we don't
Yeah,
know
but
if
you
she
can do
ever
that
went
from a
back
ship.
though, right? We don't know if she ever went back, and that's why we could use more. But
Fair enough, I guess,
she freaks out, and even then too, at the end when you're bringing up like she destroys all those scenes, why doesn't she go get Franklin? She does, like she goes to, but that's when Johnny plays the tapes, right? So that was the last resort of, hey, if things fucking go
Yeah,
to
for
shit,
sure.
I'm gonna pull the origin story on her, right? So
Yeah.
again, I was all fine with that because Johnny got to her on an emotional level, and we never know if or that could be a thing of Galactus of she's the herald, but that doesn't mean he wants her to do the dirty work per se, right? Like it's tricky because he did because it went from Galactus being, hey, I won't destroy your planet, just give me that baby. Like it sounded like it was literally a deal he was making to now we're gonna get that fucking baby. Like it was like he sent her after the chase and he was disappointed when she didn't get it. But I was fine with her not getting the baby due to the emotional stuff. And then like I said at the end, we don't know if she ever went back to Galactus. She could have just been hanging out on the cosmos waiting to kick him in the face with a board. So
Yeah, that's a fair observation. I didn't really think about that. I just assumed it's like, where else is she gonna go? She's back to the mothership, but because I imagine he would have at least used her like as a weapon in that invasion, at least for backup. But yeah, if she never went back, that would make sense why he has to just get down there. Great entrance too. He's just like on this floating throne and then just like leaps off. I thought Godzilla was gonna come out of the ocean, just have a whole fucking kaiju battle there, but god damn, did Galactus look good. I was so impressed with the visuals.
yeah.
But Taylor, do you want to throw in anything? What were you saying?
Yeah, I just want to highlight Silver Surfer. She was absolutely fantastic, and when they put this out in like a snippet out before the movie dropped, just when she's like, I herald his beginning, I herald your end, I herald Galactus. Every time, even in the theaters, man, I just get the hairs go up in my arms. It's goosebumps. Just the way she delivers that line. And you got the Canada Dry advertisement in the background. I spotted 2 Canada Dry ads.
Man, they had that ad on repeat. That was like my eyes just went to that every single time when they would go to like what is it, New York, where they had their fucking what's that place called?
Times Square.
Times Square. Thank you.
Yeah, that was just calls your attention. But yeah, she's awesome, and I like that I like everything about them breaking down her language, Johnny figuring that out, and just him kind of going rogue and just putting all the language against her, just so she hears it in her language, but it's all these different races just kind of like pleading for their lives and pleading mercy and everything. Like it's just it hits home, and she just goes like crazy and she flies off, and yeah, just a little bit of backstory on there. it's great. I think they did a really, really good job with her. And I know people were talking about how she looked CGI wise in the trailers and before. I think she looked absolutely stellar. Like we've already talked about the effects, but she looks so freaking good. Like there was a part where it was like a back shot where you see her hair, and it's like, man, it looks like real metal fucking hair. And then it rotates
I haven't
over
seen
to
a
her
back
face.
shot in this movie. I would
Oh,
like
it's a
to,
good
but-
back shot. Good back shot. But yeah,
Johnny, anytime's the Herald's coming.
leading into
Consensually, of course, consensually.
leading into Galactus, just yeah, everything, that whole sequence where they were fleeing away and like she's like Silver Surfer is on like riding the fucking lava, and it's like, god damn, this looks
Yeah.
cool.
They had
It's
her
so visually
surfing, like
appealing.
legit
She was
surfing.
surfing.
Yes.
I was getting flashbacks back to like the early 2000s Bionicle game, playing the Toa-Tahu surfing on lava. I was like, man, this is fucking great. I love this.
So
I'm never ready for when Taylor just drops the Toa-Tahu, you know.
He can make up all these terms for the past 10 years, but I would believe him because he just said it like that.
Well, that sequence and so many others, because Madison leaned over, she's like, I'd love to play it, like go on this roller coaster ride if this is a ride. But that's
With
the
the
thing.
back shots.
So yeah, the back shots. So many of these moments in this movie felt like video games, where it was Mr. Fantastic scaling Galactus, like
Yes.
his backside.
Open
He's
the
like,
ports on his back.
that's right. Yeah, it's like, man, this is just like a video game whole kind of like defeat the boss, and I loved all that. I was eating it up. But yeah, particularly that space sequence when they're fleeing and yeah, Silver Surfer's trying to like get at them and whatnot, just floating on the lava. That was awesome, and just all those different things. And Galactus, when you first meet him, he doesn't feel like Thanos feels like Thanos in his own way, but this felt like just another terrifying. And even though he got like slapped and pushed into that black hole, I don't for a second feel like he's any lesser of like a terrifying, like all powerful being. Like as soon as he got put in there and like he's not dead, I'd feel uneasy and scared knowing he's still out there and he is going to come back. When I'm glad that they didn't kill him off or anything. He's gonna come back, but he was so scary. He looked great, but everything was his like the sounds of when his eyes would have like his helmet would shield over his eyes compared to his actual eyes, and just like that humming noise and the way he looks and that ominous presence that he commands and whatnot. I'm okay with them not having him scale up and down in size. I'm glad they kept him in his big form. I had a hunch maybe he might shrink when he gets to that platform so he could pick up the baby or something like that, but he didn't need to. He stayed as giant size, and it was great. He was just fucking terrifying.
Which I think they did a good job too. Whoever had the idea to put him right next to the Statue of Statue of Liberty,
And
because
just
it-
scoffs at it, kind of.
yeah, but it also gives you a scale sizing, right? Because you kind of know, okay, the iconography of that works, and
How big
yeah,
is
that's
Giant Man in comparison?
not this big, I don't think.
I didn't know. I definitely think Galactus is bigger,
on,
but just
Kirkland.
in relation to Statue of Liberty.
I feel like he's getting to his waist, maybe. You know?
Galactus's waist.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
I've
for
got
some
a photo for scale here. I'll upload it so you can see.
It's gonna be a cock. Just
interesting.
wait. It's gonna be
Back
fucking-
shots.
yeah, Galactus and stuff. But it's Surfer giving Galactus the back shots with the board. Just ram me again. Again, I could have used a bit more even dialogue from Galactus because Ralph Ineson, one of the best voices in Hollywood.
man.
I thought we got that big speech in the middle with the, give me your child, everything like that. I thought there was one more big speech coming, but there really wasn't. He lands on Earth, has a couple more lines, and then he's taken out. Because, I agree with you. Like, he is, in a sense, like a different scary than Thanos, but, people don't read it wrong. Like, he's usually never an actual, like, Avengers level threat. As you saw, they dealt with him, like, the four of them dealt with him. I'm not going to say pretty easily, but it seems like most the villains they've fought are pretty minor tier. Like, even Mole Man is like now an acquaintance, and that was one of their main villains. So, like, if it was like Endgame, like think about Spider-Man, all the Avengers, the Guardians, like Galactus getting fucked up. Like he ain't that good. He's a top heavy. No. In comic books, Taylor, he ain't ever fucking leading the crossovers because he's just a top heavy guy. He's no brains. He's all he's no brains. He's all brawn, which is great, and that can do some damage. And he's always a threat. Don't get me wrong, but like you get enough heroes together, Galactus is pretty easy to figure out.
Well,
so.
that's just it. You get enough heroes together, that makes sense.
Get the F4 together, and they figured it out.
If they didn't have Silver Surfer, then Johnny's gone. He's making the sacrifice, and that's already after the fact that Sue Storm is dead now at this point.
Yeah.
And
Well, she's
they
coming
didn't
back
have
always.
Yeah, but they had Baby. If they didn't have Baby, that would have been a different story. I mean,
but that's a separate argument. That's Sue's life, right? I'm talking about just being Galactus. They still would beat Galactus without the baby bringing Sue back. That was after the fact, right? And hey, if Johnny has to die, Johnny has to die. He's gonna come back. Surfer's gonna come back, and Galactus maybe he'll come back stronger. Maybe he'll be on the board, which was that was another weird thing too. When it just felt like, is Johnny an idiot? Did he miss the point? They fly up there after he plays all these audio logs, and he's like, "Take me instead." It's like, no, dude. Clearly, like the guy said, like this baby has all these powers. Like you can just turn on fire. So that felt like a weird beat. Like we were missing something, or he just didn't understand the situation of let me go.
Not
it's
the
like,
brightest,
Yeah, it's like yeah, sure, go see Galactus and become a sacrifice for nothing. Like he's still gonna come after the baby. So yeah. Well, let's take our second ad break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Where do we want to go next?
there you go.
That's what we're
Here's
going.
the size chart. So
He's
there
so
you got
small.
Galactus versus Giant Man.
Jesus.
So there's
Avengers
there's
Tower
scale.
though. You make Avengers Tower.
Avengers Tower.
I guarantee you, Tony probably has like a fucking suit where he can just fly into it. And he's like,
The tower turns into the
yeah,
suit.
he becomes thing like that. And I guess we could talk about that because we just you let us into it, the video gameness of it all. But yeah, I love the Galactus thing, the scale, which is so funny because like we just got Superman a couple weeks ago, and there's like two similar beats where it's like bad guy or like the city turns against the heroes, and then like a kaiju battle. But like, I'm sorry, this is like just fucking bodies the kaiju battle and Superman like that. And don't get me wrong, that kaiju battle is more for fun to establish some stuff. But even the scale, like, I never felt the danger that I did in this that I did in Superman. And yeah, great dramatic stuff here. Great all around. I swear this was gonna ask you non-spoilers. I swear we saw a photo or in a teaser of Sue Storm doing the thing and she was bleeding from the nose. That was not.
I
in the
remember
movie.
that too.
And I was pissed.
That's like a
Yeah, 'cause-
Mandela effect.
Yeah, well, no, but it's not Mandela effect. It was in the teaser, right? Like it's there, isn't
Find
it?
the
so.
teaser.
I'll try. I'll find what you
Because
guys are talking.
I think it is a Mandela effect.
because that happens in the comics when it's like when Sue is like using Ultra. Because that was a moment when she literally turned Galactus around. You could see people shuffle in the theater, like, oh fuck, like she's like evolving right here. But yeah, I was pissed. No blood coming from the nose. But yeah, no nose. Loved. I think everything about the Galactus stuff, like in the city, it was great. And this comes from a guy that I think Galactus is kind of a cheesy villain in concept, but they made it work for me here. So
He should be so much more interesting. I feel like the setup of him just being around for billions of years,
Yeah.
and like his introduction when they go to his ship, like that is a great sequence.
when it
Just his
emerges from the
look.
planet too, it's like,
Dude.
oh, they're like the cast so
Yeah.
good, and they all sat back. They're like, what is that? Like that
Yeah.
was like it was scary. It was like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
happening? Right?
his like intro to the movie was like 10 out of 10. It was so well done. The speech was just so menacing when he just like hones in, like even before they get there, his little vision comes out, hones in on the child, and it's just like, oh god, like what did we do here? This is so
Yeah.
bad.
And that's what Surfer says. You shouldn't. It was a mistake. You
Oh,
coming
man.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and TC24 mentioned it, but like when she just floats in and like just goes through, 'cause she just no clips through the walls, just like floats in. You shouldn't have come here. Galactus will see you now. And then she just zooms off. Man, there's something so badass, and I'm actually gonna bring up a funny DC movie in the likes of Black Adam here. One thing
I did
one
not
thing
think
that's
we're going
positive
there on the F4
with that
review.
movie is just the effect of The Rock just floating. Like that's just such a badass thing when you just have a character that like Superman level, like instead of just standing in scenes,
yeah,
like he
I
just
see.
floats, and just the idea like Silver Surfer just like there's no, it's like a UFO. like there's no wind or anything. She just comes in super just elegantly floats right in. Beautiful
That's why Johnny
scene,
doesn't
but,
know if it's a part of her body or not for half
yeah,
the movie.
100%.
But
And
he-
TC24, that is in relation to my name. Good shout out.
See, I'm different. I won't even fix her. I'll just let her be. I'll let her do whatever she wants. She wants to destroy some universe, sure. Just as long as
That's
there's
the
room
whole.
for me on the
That's the whole
board.
point
On
of
the
that,
board.
though, isn't it? Where it's like she's coming to destroy your world, and you're like, "Oh man, I can fix her. I can turn her around."
Oh no, but I'm
I
saying
can save our
destroy.
planet.
Just leave me alive. Let me take you with me.
Oh,
No, no, I'm going with Sue. I
Give me
want to
some
be there
back
for the
shots
speech.
first before you.
Yeah, I'll take some
send me
Silver
to
Surfer back shots for sure. yeah,
Just some
before
molten
you-
silver on your back.
Listen, if you let me get some back shots, I'll get you that fucking baby. I'll
I'll steal my sister's child.
yeah, I'll find a way to get you Franklin. If you just give me 2 minutes of us on that board, you know. So yeah.
But yeah, no, Ralph Ineson. I remember when he got casted, and it's like, well, that's gonna be great because his voice is just so phenomenal. There was a moment when he was actually in the city, and of course, we just recently did a retro. I'm like, man, give me Sam Elliott as Galactus and just Earth 812. You know, I want to see the Sam Elliott.
Give me your Sam
version of-
Elliott voice.
Hey, dude. No, I can't fucking do it.
Hey,
I-
Franklin.
I need that baby cowboy.
yeah, that's hard, but no, he was great. I wish he had like just a badass like fuck you to the world when he came to the planet of just like how insignificant like these ants are to him, but we didn't get that. So
He even says that too when they try to pull a fast one. He's like, "Clever bugs."
Clever bugs.
He
Yeah.
walks off.
Yeah, they fucked up his
Fucking
eyes good
idiots.
though for one of those moments
Oh,
when
man.
when he like shot the fire and Sue like did a magnifying glass on, So
I love that old switcheroo. It was so simple, and I just when Pedro just like walks out there and quickly puts the empty thing, I thought, man, you could have put like a heat signature or something in there to
instantly he's like,
yeah, but it's got a clear cover that coats down over top, like yeah.
You just reminded me too. Like their plan to just move the planet, and he's like, you won't be able to find us for millions of years. It's like, fuck off, man. Like, yes, you can. Like Silver Surfer, like she travels across galaxies like pretty fucking fast, and she just goes through their FTL travel. Like, what a bold claim.
But they
by
would
Reed
just
Richards there.
teleport again, right? When
that's what you would hope, right? They would just keep the technology, someone would know it, and then they just keep teleporting. So
Okay. 2% window, is that what he said? Or 2% variance on the Goldilocks zone of like landing in the habitable zone?
within a 2% margarine of that, basically.
Margarine and butter?
I mean, it's still. I don't think logistically it would work because you'd have to have the right moon set up. I mean, if you instantly teleport there, I think tsunamis would just fucking swoop the whole planet because your
Oh, yeah.
moon and sun are
Back
gone,
shots
right?
on
So how
everyone.
you get backshots everywhere? How you can the moon's not there to control the tides in and out, so you'd be fucked. But
yeah, I guess it's better than like I think their backup plan of obviously using Franklin. That's dangerous. Get the risk there. But that probably was a better plan than the let's teleport the planet and hopefully it all works out and stuff. But we got there. I did like that scene too of when they're about to teleport the planet and just they go, and I didn't even think of Surfer. I was like, okay, what is going on here? And then it was just like the shots of just like,
it's those galactic cultists that were walking.
well, that was that. I wasn't sure if there's a power outage, but then they just show all these different countries just like boom, boom. And I love when they do like the bird's eye view from outer space on Earth where you're just seeing the surfer like go around. It's just
That was
like,
cool.
fuck, man, like this family can't catch a break. And this is when tensions are high because, again, probably I don't know if it's my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes is we got a little bit of that when he was talking about the plan of like, oh, well, I haven't thought it through yet. And she's like, yeah, you have thought through. No, like that's something else about coming with some. But was, like I said, what the stuff I enjoy with Reed and Sue, because Sue many times is like left Reed because she's just like, you don't get it. Like there's one comic I love where she like has a great night with them. They have sex and everything like that. And then she leaves him a note like, I'm leaving you. Like, I just want one more good night with you, but I can't handle you. And I loved that scene in the bedroom when he's like, oh, well, yeah, they would want us to give the baby because it's ethically makes sense and mathematically. And she's so appalled by that. And I love the scene when they argue and he's just like, yeah, I'm sorry. This is what's wrong with me. And it bugs you, but this is what's going to happen. And that kind of transitions into the scene that he has alone with Franklin, which he's like, I'm going to stop using machinery, and good speech, like all that stuff back together with the tension with the baby and Franklin trying to connect, which he has a hard time because he's just so focused on plans and everything. Like the way Tony Stark is in Age of Ultron and Civil War, where he's always like suit around the armor. That's like after some shit has happened to him. Reed is that way, like every day he wakes up and is worried that something is going to happen. So I thought they did a good job of the stakes and showing that, yeah, these two love each other, but man, sometimes they do not compute with one another. And I thought that argument scene was tip top, no notes. So
When you say suit around the armor, I imagine you say suit of armor around the world,
around
right?
around the back shots, yeah.
Around the back shots. No, I thought, yeah, good shout out on the specifically like that moment when they're, because even she shouts out, it's like when you're yourself sometimes, like I just can't handle that, or whatever the line Vanessa Kirby hits back to Pedro there. It's obviously there's emotion in her eyes. It's just such a thing you would hope to never even have to contemplate. I thought that was just a great like cog in the machines for the plot, honestly, of just Galactus wants the child. It's like, and like in that moment, it's like, well, obviously, like everyone on Earth would be like, "Hey, give up the child." Like
Yeah.
the whole planet for one baby, you know, like
I wouldn't have said
probably.
anything in that press conference. We'd just be like, yeah, we couldn't come to a
That
deal
was a
with Galactus.
bold fucking
Yeah.
move, and like I guess that leans into them just being like the Captain America goody. It's like, well, we probably shouldn't tell them this, but we're gonna, because
Yeah.
that's just who we are.
And they didn't say they had nothing prepared, right? So I think they're just like shell shocked, and they're just so used to these people hero worshipping them. They're like, oh, they're gonna understand, and then right away they turn on him, just like the whole Jor-El Superman thing of like, fuck Superman, fuck Fantastic Four, we hate these people now, you know, even though they've saved their lives countless of times, you know, I'm sure
But
many
not
of these
this
people
time.
would be dead. Yeah.
I had some grievances like on that same vein when and it also is just, you know, I think like the editing and the pacing is phenomenal all throughout, but the moment when Sue goes out to just like face the mobs with Franklin, at first I thought she was like invisible, because I'm like, there's no way she's just walking out there like right, you know, in the middle of these mobs. They want this child, she's just gonna be holding the child, you know, she has superpowers, she can defend herself.
Yeah, they can't
child,
do
but
shit
still,
to her.
it just felt strange to me. And then she's giving this like, again, very like Captain America, like, don't worry, like we'll figure this out together as a family. And I'm like, this is so corny. Like in a real world, there's no way they are not just fucking doing everything they can, like all the nations of the world, to just take this child and give it to Galactus. They don't have, you know, a transport to get to Galactus, so I don't know how that would work in that vein. But god damn it, by the end of her speech, I was like almost tearing up. I'm like, man, like this is actually amazing right now. And like I was just so impressed with that scene, because in the beginning I'm like, this is so corny and cheesy and unbelievable, but then by the end I'm like, I guess this just fits also with like the world that we're in 848. Like this is the state of the world, that like Fantastic Four are our global heroes, and we love them so much, and it fits the you know, retro futuristic Jetsons feel of just the world overall. Like it just, I don't know. There's just something about like the whole family feel of what this universe has, and yeah, by the end of her speech, like you see the crowd, like they're all like tearing up. It's just a great line too, and it's like, I'm not giving up my child to save the planet, but I'm not, you know, I'm not giving up the world to save my child either. Like they are gonna do everything they can. Just a really, really well done scene, and one of those where I'm like, they had me in the first half, but goddamn, by the end I was I was totally in on it. So kudos to them for that one.
No, that's good, because I really like that scene too, because I was like, okay, how's this gonna play? But I kind of like, because the whole thing, we are a whole family, it could play cheesy, but I like that she's kind of insinuating that, hey, if Galactus came down and just said, hey, Bill, give us Bill, or the planet kills, she's kind of saying like, we would not give up Bill, like we wouldn't give up our son, we wouldn't give Bill. So it is like we're in this together. We're either figuring this out together or we're going down. And that was a great speech. And, you know, having the family react, and that gets the idea of moving, you know, Earth and time and all that stuff. But no, I think that's just like, again, that's why it's like, I've talked about this many times, but that's just fucking Vanessa Kirby as well. I think it's written good, but you could put a lesser actress there, and it could be completely cheesy, or it could not work. But by the end, you're like, yeah, Sue Storm, let's do this. And yeah, she's just like I said, she's to me in the top 10 currently. She's so good at a variety of things. The first time I saw her was in About Time, where she plays like a very she plays like the annoying best friend, where she's just like obnoxious and comedic, and some like you watch that role and watch that now would be not, you wouldn't watch like, oh, that's Sue Storm right there. But no, she does such a good job, and even with her accent too, like it wasn't.
I was
slipping at
thrown
all.
off initially.
It was a little weird, but like her accent wasn't slipping into the Britishness, which I thought sometimes can happen, right? But no, it was strange to hear a whole movie with that. But no, I thought that
the first time she spoke was the first time where I was like, oh, this is strange, and like it wasn't bad. It was just different, and I can't remember if it was Mission Impossible or The Crown was like my first exposure to Vanessa Kirby. She's fantastic in her like she's only because The Crown, different actors, different periods of their lives, but like the parts that she's in is just phenomenal. Like she is just such a standout. And obviously very British accent there. Same thing when she's the White Widow, but open up with her American accent. I'm like, I think we could have done Sue British in this version of the.
Yeah, you could, and because like Joseph
guess
Quinn's
Johnny wouldn't have
British,
been, so it
right?
would have been
No,
weird.
he's British too, isn't he?
Oh, is
right?
he Joseph Quinn?
I think so, right?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, so you literally could just like, it's the same thing I've always said. Like, they never needed Benedict Cumberbatch to put on that weird American accent. Like Christina, like just have him sound like Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, there's no reason. Hey, I did my practicum or what? Like, I became a doctor in England and I moved over here. Like, there's no reason why like Doctor Strange couldn't have been from Britain and then he moved over. Like, why does he have to be American? So I agree. Like, it didn't bug me as much as you, but I agree that you could have just said, yeah, let's just make them British. They're both British. Go ahead, sure. What, especially because Kirby has a great voice, but no, I thought she made it work there. But
he is British, so yeah,
there you go.
That would have worked. The siblings, the Storms are from Great Britain.
Yeah.
What two projects, Kirkland, did you say again that you saw Vanessa Kirby in?
The Crown and Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
I
Did you ever
can't
see
remember
Jupiter
which one I saw
Ascending?
first.
she's in Jupiter Ascending.
God.
She's
Is that
on the
the
cast
Mila
list.
Kunis,
Yeah.
Channing Tatum one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Jeez,
I
because
remember you invited me to that movie in Target days, and I
right, they did
definitely
a
not
movie
go.
night, and I was like, no, I'm not going to that.
Yeah.
Did you go to that movie night, Taylor?
I did not go to that. Oh,
Okay.
I
think you
yeah, no,
did.
I did.
think you
I
did,
did.
yeah.
I remember being in line. I think Jessica was there. Who else was there? Might have just been me and Jessica, actually.
Or
Probably
we could have
your
done a
ex.
review. Yeah, probably your ex too. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, because that, and the only other thing too you would know from, you were walking away when I was talking about it, but she's in Hobbs and Shaw, obviously, right? She's Statham's sister, and then do you remember that she's in About Time?
In retrospect, like
Yeah, she's Rachel McAdams' like annoying friend who just like
Yeah.
hates everybody. Yeah, it's so funny to look from her there to now, which is so funny because Margot Robbie's also in that movie in a small role, and that's one of the people that was also up for Sue Storm like this go around, right? So it's kind of
Who's
funny.
Margot in that movie?
She's the one that Donald Gleason has she's the family, the sister's friend. Like, can you put some lotion on me? And then when he's with Rachel McAdams, minus 4, that's when she finally like makes the move on him. So yeah, it's again very. I think it's either right before or right after Wolf of Wall Street. Like I think it's right before, and then she blows up. But that's why it's just like this minor role, Margot Robbie. So yeah, stat cast for About Time. We're get Donald Gleason in the MCU already. We got like I guess you can get Margot at some
He's
point.
in the
too,
Disney family, right? Star Wars.
yeah, but Hux is long gone. Let's get him. I don't know, somewhere.
I know. I'm just saying he's got an in
He
with
is.
Disney.
He
He can
should.
cross over to Marvel.
Madison, I just watched Me Before You, and that's another Vanessa Kirby. She's in there, not in a main role, but she just pops in there.
What
heard
was
of
that
that.
movie called?
Me Before You, that's the Emilia Clarke one.
Oh right, one where he's in the wheelchair.
Has the accident in the
Yeah,
wheelchair.
okay.
Yeah, Neville Longbottom's in there.
What'd you say? Oh,
Neville
the accent.
Longbottom.
I think you said the accent. I'm like, no, that's just how he speaks. That has nothing to do with like.
He has an accent.
Yeah, like he had an accent.
Got that
Oh,
terrible
and he's an accent. Yeah, no one would date this hot-looking guy with his accent. Fuck. Oh man, but yeah, no, I hope that she becomes. We talked about this before. We just did a newscast about this last week. for Phase 7 or the new era, whatever happens after Secret Wars, they need to sit down and they need to decide who's their core four. I'd be completely fine if Vanessa Kirby is one of those core four. Like, I think it'd be Spider-Man, one of the X-Men, her, and then have your pick on the next one. Maybe it's a Shang-Chi, maybe it's something, but like, you should have these main characters. And again, this is something that I was wrong about. I said this in predictions. I got spoiled on it because with Feige, the interview, I didn't put in the newscast, but he's like, yeah, it's great to see the Avengers on the F4 set. It's like, oh, thanks, buddy. Now I fucking know the world doesn't get destroyed, because I thought they were going to destroy it. I thought it's going to get destroyed, and that's a way to put over some sort of threat, and that's why they're here. They didn't, and I'm so happy. I don't know how it's going to work. Like, how do you think it's going to work when Feist is going to be a reset in one singular timeline? Because I would be completely fine if the F4 was always in this universe, but for the crossovers they do the egg thing, right? We're like, okay, we're gonna come over. Like in the CW, they did that all the time, where these heroes were on different worlds, but they create some sort of watch, and it was like a teleportation thing, right? Like I really don't want to lose this look. I would be completely bummed if like Fantastic Four 2 is just like in our New York, and it's like and they're like, well, we'll build it the way it was. Like, no, like you brought up Kirk, and like those cops cars going by that were like floating and everything. Like I want to keep the, if anything, if they're like, what do you want to pick? Like our New York or like SF4, it's like, well, if we got to do one timeline, like let's get everyone over to the F4 universe, you know, like let's do that. So that's my only concern about that whole, like, we're going to make a singular time sign and the end of the multiverse saga. Like, does that mean when the F4 travel to here in Doomsday, they're going to get stuck here? And it's like, oh, I really don't like, I feel like you're just going to just like wrench out all the character of the world, which was great. So that concerns me a bit, but I'm hoping because they didn't destroy, because if that's the case, then they should just destroy this planet. They should just done and moved on. But the fact that it's alive, I hope that means when we get F4-2, if that happens, we can come back here. So
yeah, I doubt this will be like a mainstay, just because it's a very expensive world to visit, because it's mostly CGI, right? Like, especially when you get the flying cars. But I'm with you. I'm happy that it is still kicking. I honestly thought it was gonna, like, Galactus was gonna come devour this world, and then they have to flee, and that's why, you know, they're in Avengers. Like, I thought that was gonna be the setup. I'm glad I was wrong. And hopefully, you know, this allows us to potentially come back here, because there's just so much fun stuff, and for them, like, not like, this is a tour of our universe, you know, like they didn't really do that, but like they still just have so much great world building. I feel like I did learn so much about this world, this Earth 848. And yeah, it was awesome.
Taylor, what do you think's happening with this world? Is it going to withstand after Secret Wars? Is it gone? Is this going to be the world that's going to be the singular timeline? Like, what do you think is going to happen with this?
You know, a part of me started to get convinced that this world was going to get destroyed. I was under the impression that, okay, like they're going to come to 616 when they're going to bring their kid, they're going to flee, and Galactus is going to follow them and ignore Earth because they have something that he wants more than that, obviously, with Franklin. But no, not the case. They saved the world, and yeah, like the way that they set up the ending, I feel like how do you just jump to Avengers and then give us a little bit of like a flashback sequence or explain what happened? I guess so. But I mean, we were talking about this when we left the theater. I'm trying to figure out where in the narrative the end credits for Thunderbolts kind of splices over into following here, and you proposed a pretty interesting theory. But again, if that's the case, what you proposed, then the Earth is fine in the Fantastic Four's
for now
multiverse,
though,
and
right?
then, like,
Because Secret Wars is all about multiverses collapsing, so it's like it's fine for now. But if Doom's there to fuck it up, like, or what if they do that? What if they go, hey, we didn't want Galactus to be the one to destroy it, and the way that Thanos just destroyed Xandar off screen and got the Power Stone? What if they do that, where Doctor Doom destroys the, what is it again? I keep forgetting this
848.
one. The 848. Like,
Is
what
that
if they let Doom do that, right? And there is precedent, right? Like, if you look at Captain, but that doesn't make him strong, right? It's going to put him over and be like, oh, look at Doom, he did that. And that would suit their track record of, look at Captain America. If you're not a fan of the Captain America comic book, you watch a movie that is a World War II movie, and then when they make the sequel, Captain America is in present day. I've always said this. I would love to watch someone that's never really knew much about Captain America, and when he was like frozen and then woke up in present day, be like, "What the fuck is this movie? Like, why is he waking up here?" So it's like we've seen that Preston. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the Captain America First Avenger world as much as this F4 world, but we've seen them do that in movies where this could be that, and then the sequels them fish out of water in our universe where we don't have a cool New York, we don't have these cool space cops and all these things, and maybe that's how I guess they could make the F4 popular in our world, is they're so smart that they can start giving us this technology. But I think there's a chance they let Doom destroy their world just to say like, oh, Doom's that badass, he killed everyone on our universe, instead of Galactus, Galactus was never going to be in Secret Wars, right? So
True.
I guess we can go. When are we talking about the end credit now, or do we want to come back to it? What do we wanna do?
I really liked Herbie.
Yeah.
In this.
Yep.
Didn't get like a definite end, right? Like, do we see what happened when Galactus grabs Franklin? Like, Herbie's there, but he wasn't like crushed in his palm or anything. I'm hoping he lived.
Was he
I don't
there
remember.
during the talk show?
No.
Think so.
So R.I.P. Herbie potentially.
Hopefully not. He had a lot of heart in the same way that
They'd
like the
rebuild
R2 or BB-8 would have in the Star Wars universe. Like, it was that same energy. The humor around Herbie worked for me also. Just great reactions. I did like the moment. Is it 828?
See, I said that at the beginning, and Kirkland said, "You fucking idiot! It's 848 or whatever." But I think it's 828. I think it's there.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
William just got back. Loved the movie. I'm glad because you were looking
Nice.
very forward to that movie or this movie, so that's good. So, there you go. And TC24 says he was in the post-credit scene, so that's good. And yeah, very fun. Like reminds me of
Herbie.
the yeah
Like
Herbie.
TC24 was? Who is?
Yeah,
Oh,
congrats,
right. He
man.
turns,
You're down.
He
You're
turns the TV off.
Robert Downey's in our chat. Holy shit. Yeah, he does turn the TV off. But yeah, it gave me a lot of like BB-8 vibes in Force Awakens. I thought Force Awakens was the perfect use of BB-8, and that's what this reminded me of, where it's a lovable robot, never got too annoying. And that's what I like. Like, there wasn't like too much annoying humor in the way of the sense of like, I like that Johnny and Ben had a fun back and forth, but it never felt like they hated each other, which sometimes the old F4 movies got in that, right? It got into that like Johnny was just fucking mean to Ben. Like Ben's like going through a trauma, especially in those movies when, his wife's leaving his ring in the middle of the street and he'll just be like, "Hey, it sucks to be you. Don't you fucking suck, Ben?" Where this, like, he never made a joke about how he looked. He's like, "Hey, you look good with the beard." The jokes were always about other stuff. So yeah, I like that with Herbie, with Ben, with Johnny. There wasn't anything like mean-spirited humor-wise. I'm not saying like it would have hurt my feelings. I just mean that I enjoy, I think when they're trying to stress that they are a family, you have to have that dynamic that Johnny and Ben actually like each other. Or they easily could have done the whole Herbie's a shitty robot, which they did, which I'm fine with. They did that in Iron Man, right? The first Iron Man, he has those robots like, "Hey, don't fucking spray me." Like, that worked for because Tony Stark is a bit more, crabby and a bit more of an asshole. Where here, I like that Herbie was a part of the team. I could look at Herbie and be like, I understand why they trust Herbie with Franklin. Where in like Iron Man, like, is he gonna trust these robots with like his daughter at that point? Probably not, because they're a little iffy. But yeah, Herbie was a character that could easily be a negative in this movie, and they could have given too much to, but was a positive and made it work well.
So it is 828. So good shout out TC24. The reason being is because it's a nod to the late co-creator Jack Kirby's birthday, which was August 28th.
Which this movie's dripping in. They is it 828? The same as Logan's birthday. They're cool. But yeah, this movie's dripping in it. The end credit has like a tribute to him with the quote and everything like that. So yeah, I think if you like those comics, you like Jack Kirby with the style of how it is, like the story and just the style of the 60s, it's I guess I should have said that in the non-spoilers, but they nailed that aspect of it. But yeah, that's fun and it's cool. Yeah, and I'm not like everyone else that I don't know. We'll have to recover on Secret Wars. I'm not I don't need all the universes to get closed. I get why Feige's doing it because they want to streamline it. But yeah, no, I just feel like you could lose some stuff, and I don't want to lose all these things. But maybe we'll get to see Herbie, and we should see him in Doomsday. I imagine he'll like interact with fucking Red Guardian or something, or Bob.
Herbie? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor, any thoughts on Herbie? If not, take us somewhere
I
else.
mean, I thought it was really cute how to change his personality and what he can kind of work with. They just pop his visor off and like switch tape decks, like
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
tapes.
cool.
That was really, really, really fun retro kind of vibe there. So I think he was cool. I liked his communication, everything, and whatnot. He's just a fun little side character.
I'll bring it up here because just I don't forget it. People had said this before, and this joke has always been made that The Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie. Not gonna lie, after this movie, I was like, man, I do really want to watch Incredibles. It had a lot of those vibes, especially the
Mole Men.
opening. Yeah, the Mole Man, Undermine. Yeah, it's literally that is the Syndrome's Doctor Doom in a sense, right? Like he's a tech-based gadget
Right.
villain. Obviously, Doom in the comics a lot of times does have magic, so that's a bit different. But there's times where Doom is that, which I fucking absolutely loved. Begin the movie, they're having their UN meeting, showing all the
Yeah.
countries. Latveria, empty chair. So it's like either that's nothing, and just in this universe, they're just like off their own, because that's gonna be the thing, right? Of like, where is, because even though he's a Tony Stark variant, maybe, or whatever the situation looks like, Downey, is he gonna like? I'm assuming he's gonna be from 828, in my opinion. With them deliberately leaving the chair out, I don't think they're gonna go with the he has a past with Victor and they have a relationship. I think they might skip that, or maybe they know of each other. But I think with them leaving that chair out purposely, you know, it's tough because the director did say that the Russos directed that scene. He's pretty much saying, like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, they put that in there, not me. So maybe it was just Shagman being like, oh, I'll cover doing the sequel. And then it was like, well, you know, Jonathan Majors has a situation and we're going to put in Doctor Doom now. And Matt's like, okay, cool. I guess I don't got to do him for the sequel, eh? But I love that little touch. But I loved the entire montage opening of showing them fight all the different villains. Yeah, the Mole Men, and yeah, it was great stuff. But Taylor, do you kick out a Mole Men because that's your name there? They had to go to it because they were going to evacuate everybody. They were worried about, hey, what's going to happen when Galactus gets here? He's going to kill thousands of people. Well, we know somebody that has a spot underground that could help us out.
Yeah, just the quick fire introduction of all the different villains and whatnot. I appreciate that. That was fun. Them the Mole Men trying to steal this new hotel building thing. That was just wild. But yeah, there's just this whole colony of people that live underground. Definitely felt like Incredibles to that degree. But it was yeah, it was fun. He made me laugh when he popped in there and they were gonna ask him if they could put people down below, and he just is being a jerk about it. But then when it's just him and Sue, he's like one-on-one. Okay, like, what do you want? What do you need? What can I do?
I was
So-
worried they were gonna like hint that they had like a fling or something, like an old flame, and I'm like, please don't do this.
Or he
baby's
was going to be
kicking.
trying to like, oh, you know, you picked Reed before me, but we had something like that kind of humor where it's like he thinks there's something going on, but there's not. I was glad it was just like a mutual respect thing, and I think that's this isn't negative. That's the only time in the movie felt the most like a 616 MCU was that back and forth with him and Reed and him and Johnny of like, oh, I don't dress you, Johnny. Like that's the most where it's like it's a quip almost every 10 seconds from some character, and that's fine. I would like to see more Mole Man. Again, don't know what's going to happen with his universe stuff, but Paul Walter Hauser is a great actor, and I thought that was fun. Could have, again, same thing. Could have used even a little bit more of that, like just a mission or something like that. Like, but you know, it's fine. Didn't
Of the
happen.
Mole Men.
Yeah, like I could have used the fact that it just like resolved the like they beat him and it was like a newspaper. You know, it's like I would have liked a 2-minute scene of them actually being the Mole Man or whatever. You know, I would love it if there was like a 222, 230 movie of this. I just want more of it. So
If we're not getting another Silver Surfer Galactus scene, I'm not replacing that with a Mole Man scene. So
no, of course
I'm
not.
okay
I'm not.
with,
In my edition, they have multiple scenes of everybody, but you know, that's
20
the thing.
minutes more of the mole people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Which, speaking of, same thing. I brought this up a little bit. I don't have much more to say, but yeah, the whole Ben storyline, they went over a little bit of the classic, you know, having issues with his looks, but around the family, he never brings that up. He doesn't seem too depressed around the family. It just seems like
seems
he's
confident.
depressed. Yeah, seems confident, but it just seems like he's depressed alone. They introduced Natasha Lyonne in here for like 2 scenes, which was so odd. They have them
Is that her name in
talking.
this? I thought they called her Rachel. Rachel.
No, I'm
something.
talking about the actress's name, Natasha Lyonne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, they call her. She's playing herself. It's crazy. But there's this moment where I get what they're going for, but he's talking. The kids are watching. He's like, next time I have to bring the cookies, and all the kids are like, ooh, ooh. It worked better when she walked away. Like, oh, I'll see you around. They're like, ooh, but like it felt like they had a line there that was like maybe more sexual, and they're like,
Give
we
some
can't have
back
the
shots
thing say
later.
that. Yeah, yeah. I'll backshot to show you later. You heard a rock hard cock? Well, you haven't yet. But like, it was weird. It was just forced. And like, even everything too of like, he shows up at the church, like, oh, you're here for counseling? No, I just want to say hi. Like either going full
Didn't need
Monty.
it.
Yeah, either going more
Yeah.
and make that big, or just take it out. It didn't really get us anywhere.
Felt like they cut some stuff out of that one specifically.
Absolutely.
Like there was
Yeah.
some stuff missing that they already had. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and we know they cut John Malkovich from this movie, so we know they cut things from this movie. This movie's an hour 55. There's no way they didn't. So, and again, maybe there's more scenes of these two, and they just fucking sucked, and they're like, you know what, this doesn't work at all. But then it's just like I would like to, when the script writing process of okay, why, like, what does that character do for us here? Like, it's
Her,
we're not.
like the
Yeah,
that
because it's
chick?
not like the first F4 where, like in '05, where everyone loves the F4, but everyone knows the thing. He's a fucking monster and he's gross. Like there's eventually they like him. There's choice, but I mean, at first everyone's scared of him, right? But this is a world where the kids love him. He's shopping and be like, "Hey Ben," and I do the thing. Like I'm not saying he doesn't have his issues. Don't get me wrong, but like people like him. So like usually, like when they had Kerry Washington play like the blind character, that was like, oh, someone likes you for who you are, even though you're this rock monster, right? But it's just like, what purpose does she serve here? And I don't have an answer. Maybe someone does. I just don't have an answer of like, what did that do for Ben in this movie?
fuck all is what it did. It's weird too because it's like a character that he can get close with when other people see him as a monster, but where he is in this story, he's not seen as a monster.
Yeah.
There's like some real minor moments when he like looks at his reflection. It's kind of sad. Like I feel like there was like more of that in the trailer. There's like a shot of him like looking at the TV and then he sees himself and it's like, oh, I'm hideous.
That was in this movie.
I know, but like
Okay.
it seemed like there's more emphasis on it in the trailer. So it's like,
yes.
oh yeah, they're really gonna be doubling down on Ben and his just image issues. Which I mean, it's a very human thing, right? Like people
Yeah.
body dysmorphia, like all that stuff psychologically. People
Just as a
can-
regular person, not even a rock monster.
Yeah, exactly, right? So like that, there's some good juice there, but for this story, especially just for what they were telling, it didn't really need to go there at all. And then, as you already mentioned, like introducing this lady, I don't know, like the scene with the kids was like kind of comedic when he's
Yeah.
lifting up the car, but
But then the
at
problem
least
is if you
seemed
don't-
weird.
But if you don't go there at all, that's the problem with this movie. It's like I feel like Ben doesn't like Ben's just kind of around. Like I'm not saying he's
True,
not fun
yeah.
and I don't enjoy the thing in this movie, but he's just Johnny has like a little mini redemption where he kind of shows like he can be a scientist and help the team. Sue's the leader. Reed kind of finds a way to like lean on his people. Ben's like, yeah,
Great
I
pilot.
fucking like to cook.
right?
Yeah, I like to fly. Like he's just around because like, oh, we want him to fight the Hulk in Secret Wars. Like that's what it feels like. So I hope when we get to F4-2 that we could, if we get there, he can get like a bigger moment. Even that scene where he's talking with Reed, same thing. He just sounded like he's completely forgiven him, right? Because they insinuated and even Reed said that what happened to them was his fault. He miscalculated. But Ben lets him off. He's, oh, it's fine. You couldn't have known. So he lets him off the hook right away. That's not, which we've seen in other movies, right? Where he doesn't. That's kind of a thing where Reed's obsessed with, like, I'm going to fix you. Like, I'm really sorry. But in this movie, he's like, shit happens, But you're having a kid. So, and same thing. He's having a kid, so not the time and place. But I would like a little bit more on Ben Grimm, who looked fantastic in this. I think the early trailers, there's some rough shots, but I think no issues I had with him here. Other than a few times he was on the street. The street was not, it was just not working, some of the textures and stuff with him on it. So,
What a sharp dressed man too. They had
Oh,
him
yeah.
just swagged out, like sweater vest. He was wearing some different hats. He looked good for a rock monster.
let's take maybe our last ad break, and then we'll be right back. All right, we are back.
Something I wanted to slither in here before we closed out. As you already mentioned, we did our own little fan cast of who we'd want to potentially be our Fantastic Four. You shouted out Vanessa Kirby. I think Adam Driver was in the mix for Pedro. That might have been your pick. After watching
No, that was not my pick. My old
Okay.
school pick was like Bill Hader, and then as I said, once someone told me Penn Bradley, though, that's when I'm like, that's
Yeah,
still
that's
to
a
me.
good one.
But now Pedro, I knew Pedro could do it. I just was on paper. We've seen him do that stuff, but Pedro, hit a home run to me.
Maybe we were just talking about it at some point then, or maybe
Okay.
somebody actually did have him. But I feel like in my old mind, we were talking about Adam Driver as the role of Reed, Margot Robbie in the role of Sue
Well, those were
Storm.
rumored. Though
So that's what it would have been. Yeah.
Yes, we talked about it in the newscast. The rumor is that they wanted they were going to them, but the rumor is that both Driver and Robbie
Expensive.
asked for too much. So
After watching the film, I prefer Pedro. Obviously, I haven't seen the Adam Driver version,
Yeah.
but it's
Can't
a
do that.
harder like role for me to see that actor portray. Yeah, it's kind of a redundant statement because I can't compare the two.
yeah,
But
and
like,
the script probably would have been a bit different too, like to go to
I guess
Driver's
so.
strengths,
But like,
right?
just and I didn't really shout it out much, but I just love the science read in this, like him with his chalkboard and just like
Yeah,
giving it all to like the knowledge, like Pedro just killed the role. Like it was so well done performance wise. I'm sure Adam Driver could, phenomenal actor. I'm sure he could do a really great job. But watching this, I'm like, man, Pedro is Reed Richards. Like this is just like more so. I don't remember the other actor's name from the previous film. I know Miles Teller.
Ingrid
but,
Fufford.
I'm not.
Say that again.
So kill my own train of thought there. I should have pulled up Miles, but yeah, no, I'm glad I got this version for the cheaper one. Adam Driver's asked for money, so it worked out for everyone.
I'm trying to think who had this. I think this was is this my list? Someone had John. So I don't know who did this because I can't watch the audio right now. But someone had John because we did teams. It was me, and then it was Kirkland and Taylor, and then Dylan Amber. One roster was John Hamm as Reed Richards, Charlize Theron as Sue Storm. This probably was me. Dacre Montgomery as Human Torch, and then
man.
Alan Tudyk as the Thing. So that was my roster right there. I'll try and pull up your guys's of who would have been next there, but that was one of them. I don't know what I sing with John Hamm, but I like Hamm. So, and then okay, so another roster. I think this is your guys' list. You guys, yeah, this is your list for sure.
Lay it on us.
Yeah, Zachary Quinto as Reed Richards, Olivia Wilde as Sue Storm, Zac Efron as Human Torch, and then John Cena as the Thing. So
Fuck,
that was
man, that's a
that
good
was
list.
that was Taylor's and Kirkland's combined list, and then let's see if I can get Dylan and Amber's here. It's taken forever to
It's
get
kind of funny we
to.
had teams for this, and then you were just on your own.
Yeah, I think Kyle was supposed to join me, but he probably flaked out.
Classic.
But yeah, I can't find. Oh, there we go. I found it now. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. So, oh yeah, this is definitely Amber and Dylan's because I thought this was a terrible pick. Sorry, Dylan, if you're listening. They put Jim Carrey as Reed Richards. Off. I remember Dylan tried to pitch it, but I was like, no. And then Yvonne
What year is
Strahovski. This is 2018.
Holy fuck. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we should look at some of these though. And then their Sue Storm was Yvonne Strahovski, and then their Human Torch was Dave Franco, and then their Thing was Seth Rogen. So we should go back and look at some of those. So
That's fun.
yeah. Anything else specifically? I know we'll probably talk about this again with Newscasts and Golden Geeks, and I'm sure when Dylan talks about it. And we'll probably talk about it again too on GUA this weekend when we do our crossover episode. I should promote that. GUA episode, we're doing a crossover. We haven't done that in a while, but a crossover this Saturday, 6 p.m. PSD, our 10-year celebration, their 5-year. So we'll probably talk about it again a bit there. But anything specifically we haven't talked about other than the end credit, we'll talk about that quickly. And I have a funny thing to show you guys, but
No, there's probably something I'm forgetting, but
you sound like Matt Reeves there. No.
Yeah, interesting.
No.
No,
I can't think of anything. At its core, I think it's.
We're not doing
I'll say
overalls.
no. Yeah, I'm gonna wait
Calm
for
down.
overall for that. Actually, I'll wait.
I know you just fell asleep, but it's okay. We're still,
No.
still in the end of the review. So anyways, we got 2 end credits. The second end credit was just the cartoon, which, man, our theater was not our theater was not happy with
guy in
that.
front of me is like, "That's it."
Yeah, I've always said this before. If you're gonna do a comedy one, you lead with that one. I never think you should do, but I get why they didn't because they want people to see what we did get. I will bring it up. So this is how I thought I was spoiled, but I will because I don't think the stream's gonna get taken down. It should be okay because we're in spoilers. So and it's all over Twitter. But we get a scene where they say 4 years later. 4 years later, Vanessa Kirby's reading Franklin story here, a fun little joke of like, oh, what should we read? And they bring out some like huge textbook and stuff like that. You know,
Origins of Our Species by Charles Darwin.
yeah, like, oh no, this is something more fun. Like, let's do that. Walk over. Sue very calm to me reacts very calmly to just a man in a cloak, hanging out with her son. But that's what happens. We got the image right here, just so you can see a little bit. So at least we don't know what's going to happen with this, but the mask looking very classic Doctor Doom. He's got the cape, he's got the hood and everything, so I like that. But yeah, that's happening. She turns the corner, and we're assuming Downey's Victor Von Doom. Didn't get to see him, so I'm wondering what they're gonna do. If it's gonna be in some comic books, he's very scarred. I don't know if he's gonna have different hair or whatnot. But yeah, what did you guys think about this scene? And then I do have something very funny to show you after. But what do you guys think about this? Is the end credit that? Clearly, I think what they're setting up is whatever Galactus sensed about Franklin Richards, one way or another, whether it's this universe or another universe, Doom can sense that, and he's going to use whatever power Franklin uses. And I think that's like a perfect MacGuffin for at least Doomsday, and at least for the F4 of he's getting his hands on this powerful kid. So it's like same way the Gauntlet and the Infinity Stones were Thanos's, MacGuffin. A super almost god tier character as Doom's, MacGuffin. So I think that's a good setup.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good thing for Taylor to lead us off with. So I'll pass the baton to him.
Yeah, I honestly thought that he was going to turn or we would get to see his face. But it's okay. It just builds that excitement and that anticipation, especially because you get that title. The Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday specifically,
Yeah.
so just like building that hype. But a part of me thought it's just going to be Galactus, and it was going to be like a small form of him, like child size with Franklin. But
We didn't see a face.
Yeah.
didn't see a face. Yeah,
Just turn this big helmet.
yeah, it got me really really excited seeing that, and I think you're probably right. Whatever power that Galactus sensed, Doom senses it too, and Doom's always looking for the next big high, right? His next big thing, upgrading.
Oh fuck yeah, Franklin! You want to try some of this shit?
But yeah, it's interesting that they have Doctor Doom here, and whether or not it's a mistake that he goes to like 616, like our main multiversal timeline.
No,
like,
I doubt
whatever the
I
context.
doubt it's a
like,
mistake. I don't want no, I'm sorry, Snyder fans. I don't want no shit where Darkseid finds the anti-equation, gets stabbed, and forgot where it was, and they go to Earth like, this is where it was. Like, I don't want him to accidentally end up on 616. I know it's a mix. I think me and Kirk and talking about newscasts. I still love the theory, or it's the rumor going around that he goes to 616 and pretends to be like Tony Stark because he looks like
I like
him.
that too, and I think there's
I
credibility
fucking
to
love that. Yeah, I'm just like, hey guys, I'm a different variant Iron Man, and there's this team called the Fantastic Four in this universe. They're gonna fuck us up. There's this team, the X-Men. They're gonna fuck us up. Like, I think that's such a fun, and that's probably why they didn't show us the face, right? Because for the normies, if they're not watching, when they see, I wonder. That'd be a good predictions. Is when we get that first teaser for Doomsday. If anytime you see Doctor Doom, he's in the mask, but when you see Tony, he looks like he's Tony again. So the normies think, oh, Tony's back, and then you get that switch. Even though everyone knows, there's tons of people that aren't paying attention to this, right? They'll have no idea that they'll just know that Downey is back. So that might be maybe why they didn't show the face.
Kirkland, does your dad know that's Downey?
I definitely told him once upon a time that Downey was coming back, and he probably, keeps a finger on the pulse.
Phone him
Probably
right now.
saw
It's
our
midnight.
news-
Yeah,
Wake
get
him
on the
up.
line.
He probably saw our newscast talking about that way back when that was announced. But
Yeah.
I guarantee, he would have forgotten about it just because he's not like, I don't know.
Tons will too.
When's
Tons-
Donnie?
yeah.
When's Donnie?
Donnie Downey, Donnie Downey Jr.
When's Downey coming in?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm in between on the end credit. It's honestly,
Are you fucking kidding me?
Did Kirk
I-
drop that?
I wanted to see
That
the
wasn't me.
face. I wanted to see the face, honestly.
Well, there's a plot reason you
'cause
don't, right?
it's
They
like-
can't spoil that yet.
I did like nothing new in here. It's like, oh, he's in the green cloak. Oh, he's got a mask. Okay.
Well,
it's
the new thing is he
Doomsday.
wants a kid, though,
Doom's
right?
coming.
Like that's now we
Okay.
know. Oh,
He was missing in every fucking UN meeting. I assumed he was going to be somehow tied to the Fantastic Four.
but you didn't
for
know
his
about the
origin.
kid, though. Like this sets up that the kid is important for Doomsday now.
I think that was pretty obvious when you have
Okay.
Galactus, this like ancient being that's like, I need this one child to replace me. Child lives on. Okay, well, child's not going to just be free and like in the clear for the rest of his life. Like, guarantee you, galactic threats are going to be after him for the rest of his days. Yeah, I don't know. I think also coming into this movie, I'm like, what cameos are we going to get? And then nothing really at all.
Perfect.
Because we don't even get Downey's face, and
No.
it honestly, like, it's impossible, especially with how much we talk about these things. But in my mind, I'm like, what I would do to just be living in the universe where like the Downey announcement wasn't made, and like we actually have no idea who's playing Doom. Like, man, to just be one of those individuals that's actually like clueless on that. When you eventually get the and like it could be your situation that it's like Downey's back, holy fuck, and then it is
Yeah.
later revealed that it's like a variant and it's actually Doom. Like, oh, I'm getting
The only
goosebumps
thing-
just thinking about that. But
I think we talked about that in Comic Con. The only thing is, I wonder that if we, as the comic fans, were watching this and in the middle of the movie, just like, oh, like Downey's Doom, us processing
Yeah.
that right in the middle of the movie, I bet they thought that could sour some of the people. So let's give them time to sit with it. I like the scenario where imagine we get this end credit and we don't know who the actor is. Fuck that, like at all. Like it's not even the Downey twist. It's just Killian, or it's somebody, it's Mads Mikkelsen, or it's somebody under there, you know, like that'd be so cool. Like, oh, who is, especially too if they would announce like a bunch of actors, but like we're not gonna tell you who they're playing. Like not the returning people, just like, oh, there's some actors, but we're not gonna tell you. But you know, here we are. But again, at least for me, what I like is I think they're doing the right thing of going back to let's just set up the next project, and that's what they should, because we've gotten too many of lingering things going on. This is a perfect. They set up Doctor Doom, they set up the kid, and that's the second next thing, right? We got Spider-Man, but I think that's smarter than some of the stuff they've done before. And yeah, this is a scene they probably shot in fucking like not even half an hour, like 15 minutes on Doomsday, and just like, hey, throw it in there. But I did want to bring up, so I got spoiled on this scene, but I didn't know I got spoiled on this scene because Twitter does this awful thing where you watch videos and the second the video is done, it just shoots down and goes to another video. So they showed me this, but luckily when I caught it, it was AI. But now when I watched it, when I realized it is the scene it's someone add on to, but it is the exact scene from the end credits. So someone must have heard it and asked AI to recreate it. But watch, you gotta, this is good stuff. So here it is, everybody, and then we're gonna do overratings.
What's your name, boy? Don't be afraid. I'm a friend of your father's.
Just wait for it. Wait.
I am Victor. I am Victor.
There's so much weirdness to this trailer.
I am Victor.
What's is that? Sue Storm in the back with her
Just
back
chilling.
facing.
Just chilling, yeah, just watching. But like,
I am
I love
Victor.
this
I
guy's
am
so
Victor.
scary, and it sounds like Downey. But that's where the AI still kicks in there. Just
I am Victor.
so that's when I saw like, oh, that's not the end credit. So then when the end credit popped up in the movie, I was like, oh fuck, that AI video was a version of that. But yeah, very very funny. But
I am Victor.
I am Victor. I'm a friend of your father's. I am Victor. Kirby Patzer rating.
Yeah, I'm excited to rewatch this one to really solidify my thoughts. Because you know, coming into this discussion, it's like, yeah, I don't know, they kept it pretty safe, but overall, it was a really fun adventure. But more I unpacked with you guys, I realized there's actually a lot more character stuff that I really enjoyed. I felt like Sue, I don't know, in the moment, she didn't seem as like much of like. No, that's I was gonna say
Sexist
as much as the main character,
A
but
woman, the core
Ju-
four, that
ju-
can't
ju-
be.
something about it. I don't know. I ended up. I think it's mostly that scene that I was mentioning. How like she goes out and just talks about family, and in my mind, I'm like, this is just ridiculous. This wouldn't work out. But by the end of it, they totally sold me on it. No, great time. Highly recommend it. I think I'm gonna give it. I'll just round up. I'm gonna go 9. I didn't think I was gonna be at a 9 for
higher
this
than I
one,
thought.
but yeah,
That's the same
it's-
score as Superman for you. I thought it was gonna be lower than Superman. That's interesting.
Yeah, and like like the more I stew on Superman, I think there's some things that maybe bring it down ever so slightly. But I've only seen the 2 projects once, so maybe on a second rewatch I'll see which one's higher or lower. But really, yeah, and it's
Olsen,
funny
man.
comparing the two because they're pretty close to one another, and that was kind of the big comparison for Marvel versus DC. But yeah, great time. So it's been a nice couple weeks here of superhero content.
Yeah.
Never saw
Now we're done
Ironheart,
for the year.
so sorry about that, but yeah, maybe I'll leave it there.
I guess we do got that Eyes of Wakanda show. Well, and we got Wonder Man in December, but I think we've all said you might
What
not
happened
get
with the Eyes of Wakanda? Didn't you just send, or they like
You got-
moved the
it
date
moved
or something?
up, so it's next week. So we're gonna try and do some. I think you're gone, so or I can't remember. We're gonna try to do
I'm
a
out,
review for
Norman.
it, but I'll say Wonder Man is. We're gonna try a review, but it's tough. It's dropping during Christmas, or around then. Lots of stuff going on. We'll talk about Avatar another day. Taylor, what's your score here?
Everything about this movie is awesome. It's an adventure. Like I said at the start of this review, it captures a lot of that early MCU stuff that I've been missing for a long time. So it's hitting on all cylinders. But I'm not gonna give it a full 10 because someone should have caught that baby and done something about it. That was fucking brutal. Some of that shit just. That I've always thought Twilight was it, and that stuff would always stay in Twilight. But the fact that we could see it here, just it just wasn't working for me. It was not working for me. My God, like I've seen people selling on Facebook Marketplace these fake dolls that look way like fake baby dolls that look way more real. It's like for practicing, like. Yeah, I don't know, like baby, kind of like taking care of your babies and whatnot. And those dolls have like realistic looking like features and everything. Get one of those, then just CGI like certain parts of the face if you want, but don't just the whole head and everything. It's just, it didn't work for me. The scenes where it was a real baby though, yeah, top tier. Then everything was hunky dory. But yeah, that's my biggest con. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 9.5 out of 10. Like it's just the big thing is just the baby. But other than that, everything else was so much fun. And it's funny seeing this movie and then seeing again taking my wife who is having a kid and then seeing all this like dynamic of them having a kid in the movie and everything like that. And then especially even
I don't know
the
if
part
you've
where
publicly said that yet, but that's okay.
no, I haven't. I wasn't hoping that you would highlight it. I was just sneaking it in there, but there it's said.
I was gonna sneak in that my wife is pregnant with her second child. What a thing to sneak in
You
there.
ruined Rebirth
It's
for my dad. No, I'm
It's
kidding.
not like trying to sneak into the back door like by a couple inches, Like, oh damn, people pick that up. But there you go.
But the other thing too that was making me laugh was it was at the end with the car seat when they were trying to install it because I just upgraded Satine's car seat and I fucking feel the stress of that whole situation, that dynamic of them trying to get the seatbelt and shit because the little baby infant car seats are one thing, but when they get to be bigger and you're doing the upgrade one, the seatbelts wrapping around shit like it's chaotic. It's a whole other thing. So.
I didn't mind
movie.
that scene. I just didn't like the placement. I was happy to end the movie where we were, and then that beat went on a bit too long for me there. Or that could have been the end credit instead of the animated show thing, if they want a comedic one. But I digress. But yeah, I'll go slightly above Mr. Field, a 9.75. Because, yeah, I will agree that baby. And then for me, literally, my con is just, again, it sounds weird that there's not enough. But the negative from that is, like I said, there's some stuff that I wouldn't say feels shallow, but definitely feels like we could use a lot more lived in. When you got the rest of the movie that feels so lived in, there's some relationships, some moments that if we could get to breathe a little bit more with said characters, it would be great. And that's not a bad problem to have, right? But I do think at times it affects the movie where I feel like I still don't know the most of the dynamic between Reed and Ben, and like, I'm not saying I need the dynamic of every single one of them, but like as the combos, but I would prefer when you lay it up like, hey, they got one scene together, we established their friend. I thought that's going to be hopefully the one of many. So yeah, like you said, some stuff with Ben and even with his story, right? Why is the why is that lady in there? We really didn't know. We couldn't figure that out, and I don't think anyone will suggest one. So I think that's it. Where just some of the pacing was fine, but I would have been fine to slow down and learn a little bit more about some of the characters and relationships. And I think that would only strengthen the ending of this movie when they're together, where at times it feels like definitely not like thrown together, like some of the stuff we talked about in Superman with like the Daily Planet team when they're like celebrating the end. Like, I don't fucking know you at all. It's not that level, but there is where it's like, okay, it's not Guardians level as well, where it's like, oh, by the end of that movie, I got a good feeling of each and every one of you together, or even Avengers, right? So I think it's missing a little bit of that, a little more time. I hope that happens with the F4 sequel if they get there. But yeah, I'm very surprised by my score at 9.75. I think that's behind 28 Days Later and Sinners, my third favorite movie of the year, and well, I guess it got Wallace and Gromit as well, but still, I did not think it was going to be this high. So it blew past expectations. I cannot wait to see this one again. Superman, I was like, hey, I'm good to watch it again at some point. This is one that, like I said, I'm not sure about Logan, but with Gwen, she wanted to see this. I would actively be completely down to go see this in the theater again. That's how much I enjoyed it, and yeah, I think just a stellar time overall. And hey, it's getting better, you know, like Thunderbolts and this back to back. I had Thunderbolts in my top 15. This is in my top 15 as well. That I'm pretty happy with that. I don't need movies to be a top 10, top 5. Those should be more rare. But the fact that we're getting that, hopefully Spider-Man and the next Avengers can be that same quality, and I'm a happy camper. And hopefully we're heading towards, I like this, where we end you know, of course, bad movies and bad shows, we get some fun banger reviews because we're just like trying to break down what the fuck is Guy and Secret Invasion. But generally, when I walk, and even Superman, which I didn't love as much as these guys, but I still enjoyed, like walking out of a movie and enjoying my time. And this one, very much love walking out of an MC movie and loving it. So, and again, another movie like Brave New World, and I can't remember with Thunderbolts we didn't get the Marvel logo, the dun, 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 we didn't get that. So it's 2 movies this year we did not get that, and I guess that kind of fits for this being a different universe, but. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week. Like I said, we'll probably talk about this in the crossover. Next week, we'll get some box office. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be talking about this at least with the MCU Golden Geeks, maybe the other stuff. And I promise when you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.
Bye.